The world's most dangerous creatures may be closer than you think. An invisible sea ghost, a tiny octopus with deadly blue rings, or an ancient predator waiting in silence. In these quiet stories, beauty and death walk side by side. Which one would you dare to face? Hey friends, dim the lights and settle into your favorite spot. You're floating now in the warm waters off northern Australia, where something almost invisible drifts like a living ghost through crystal clear seas. The box jellyfish, Chironex fleckeri, carries enough venom to kill 60 adults within minutes. Its translucent bell pulses gently through tropical waters from Australia to Southeast Asia, trailing tentacles up to 10 feet long. Each tentacle holds millions of nematocysts, tiny harpoons that fire faster than a bullet when touched. Swimmers and fishermen encounter them during jellyfish season, when lifeguards close beaches and vinegar stations line the shores. The WHO reports around 100 deaths annually across the Indo-Pacific region. It hunts small fish and shrimp with silent precision, its movements as graceful as they are deadly. Local Aboriginal communities called it the sea wasp, respecting its power through careful seasonal knowledge. What if the most dangerous predator was also the most beautiful, drifting like liquid starlight through our dreams? You're standing on a riverbank in northern Australia now, where the gentle lapping of muddy water hides a predator unchanged for 200 million years. The saltwater crocodile, Crocodilus porosus, rules waterways from India to northern Australia, growing up to 23 feet long with a bite force of 3,700 pounds per square inch. These ancient survivors lurk motionless for hours, their eyes and nostrils barely breaking the surface. Fishermen, swimmers, and riverside communities face about 1,000 attacks globally each year, with fatality rates near 25%. They're opportunistic hunters, taking everything from fish to water buffalo, using their infamous death roll to disorient prey. Their patience is legendary, waiting days for the perfect moment to strike. Indigenous Australians viewed them as ancestral beings, weaving them into dreamtime stories of creation and respect. The soft splash of water, the ancient yellow eyes watching, waiting. How long would you wait for the perfect moment if time meant nothing to your survival? Hey friends, you're diving now into tide pools along Australia's rocky coasts, where something smaller than your palm carries death in its beautiful blue rings. The blue-ringed octopus, Hapaloclana species, lives in shallow waters from Japan to Australia, displaying brilliant blue circles when threatened. This golf ball-sized cephalopod carries enough tetrodotoxin to kill 26 adults within minutes, yet shows no aggression unless provoked. Tide pool explorers, divers, and curious beachcombers occasionally disturb them, leading to about 3 to 5 recorded bites annually in Australia. There's no antidote to their venom, which causes rapid paralysis while the victim remains conscious. They hunt small crabs and shrimp using stealth and lightning-fast strikes, their soft bodies squeezing through impossibly small crevices. Pacific Island cultures often portrayed them as trickster spirits, small but mighty beings teaching respect for the ocean's hidden powers. What wisdom might hide in the smallest packages, waiting for us to notice their quiet strength? You're walking now across the sun-baked clay pans of Central Australia, where the most venomous snake on Earth glides silently through sparse scrubland. The inland taipan, Oxyuranus microlepidotus, possesses venom potent enough to kill 100 adults with a single bite, yet remains remarkably shy and reclusive. These sandy-colored serpents inhabit remote areas of Queensland and South Australia, preferring deep soil cracks and rocky outcrops. Human encounters are extremely rare, fewer than a dozen recorded bites ever, with no deaths due to antivenom availability. They specialize in hunting plague rats, their venom perfectly calibrated to kill warm-blooded prey quickly and efficiently. During cooler months, they become darker to absorb more heat, showing remarkable adaptability. Aboriginal peoples knew them as Dandarabilla, understanding their power while respecting their peaceful nature. The whisper of scales on stone, the patient coil, the lightning strike. How can something so deadly choose to live so peacefully, teaching us that power doesn't require aggression? Dear listeners, you're snorkeling now over a coral reef in the Indo-Pacific, where the ocean floor itself might be watching you with patient predatory eyes. The stonefish, Sinancea horrida, remains the world's most venomous fish, perfectly camouflaged among rocks and coral debris. These masters of disguise inhabit shallow waters from the Red Sea to Australia, their warty skin mimicking algae-covered stones so perfectly that even marine biologists struggle to spot them. Swimmers, snorkelers, and fishermen accidentally step on them, leading to approximately 5-10 stings annually in Australia alone. Their 13 dorsal spines inject excruciating venom that can cause tissue death and, rarely, cardiac arrest. They're ambush predators, remaining motionless for weeks while small fish swim within striking distance. Pacific Islander folklore describes them as guardian spirits of the reef, testing whether humans approach the ocean with proper respect and awareness. If you could become invisible to survive, would you choose the power of patience over the rush of the hunt? You're standing now on an endless expanse of Arctic ice, where the world's largest land predator moves like a white shadow across a kingdom of snow and wind. The polar bear, Ursus maritimus, rules the circumpolar Arctic from Alaska to Siberia, with males reaching 1,500 pounds and standing 10 feet tall on hind legs. These apex predators possess incredible strength, capable of dragging a 500-pound seal across ice with ease. Climate change brings them into increasing contact with Arctic communities, resulting in 20-40 encounters annually across polar regions. They hunt primarily ringed seals, using breathing holes in sea ice with supernatural patience, sometimes waiting motionless for hours. Their black skin absorbs heat while hollow guard hairs provide insulation in temperatures reaching 50 degrees. Inuit cultures honor them as Nanuk, powerful spirits deserving both fear and respect, central to survival stories passed through generations. What would you sacrifice to survive in a world that's literally melting beneath your feet? Hey friends, you're in a Brazilian rainforest now, where something with legs spanning nearly 6 inches prowls through the darkness with deadly purpose. The Brazilian wandering spider, Phonutria fera, earned its name by actively hunting rather than building webs, roaming forest floors and human settlements throughout South America. These aggressive arachnids possess venom containing neurotoxins that can cause priapism, breathing difficulties, and death within hours. Urban encounters occur when they hide in shoes, clothing, or fruit shipments, resulting in approximately 4,000 bites annually in Brazil. They rear up on hind legs when threatened, displaying red warning colors on their chelicerae while making themselves appear larger. At night, they hunt crickets, cockroaches, and other spiders with remarkable speed and precision. Local communities call them Aranja armadera, armed spider, treating their presence with cautious respect. The soft rustle of leaves, the quick scuttle across wooden floors, the patient wait in dark corners. What drives you to wander through the night? Curiosity, hunger, or simply the need to keep moving forward? You're floating now in the deep blue waters off South Africa's coast, where a prehistoric silhouette glides through liquid space with 20 million years of evolutionary perfection. The great white shark, Carcharodon carcharias, patrols coastal waters worldwide, reaching lengths of 20 feet with bite forces exceeding 18,000 newtons. These apex predators detect electrical fields from beating hearts and can smell blood from 3 miles away. Surfers, divers, and swimmers encounter them primarily in seal hunting grounds, resulting in 8,100 unprovoked attacks annually worldwide with 515 fatalities. They employ breaching attacks on seals, launching their 5,000-pound bodies completely out of the water. Their serrated teeth, replaced continuously throughout life, can shear through bone and blubber with surgical precision. Ancient cultures from Hawaii to Australia revered them as ancestor spirits, powerful guardians of ocean wisdom. The gentle whoosh of water displacement, the sudden acceleration, the primal recognition of perfect predatory design. What would it feel like to be so perfectly designed for your purpose that you've remained unchanged for millions of years? Dear listeners, you're walking now through Southeast Asian forests, where something majestic rises from fallen leaves like a living question mark reaching toward the canopy. The king cobra, Ophiophagus hanna, stands as the world's longest venomous snake, growing up to 18 feet while possessing enough neurotoxic venom to kill an elephant within 3 hours. These intelligent serpents inhabit forests from India to Indonesia, building elaborate nests and showing remarkable parental care uncommon among reptiles. Forest workers, snake charmers, and villagers encounter them during seasonal migrations, leading to several hundred bites annually across their range. They hunt almost exclusively other snakes, including their own species, swallowing prey whole with expandable jaws. Their distinctive hood and upright posture can maintain eye contact with a standing human, creating an almost hypnotic encounter. Hindu and Buddhist traditions honor them as nagas, divine serpent beings protecting sacred knowledge and treasures. The dry rustle of leaves, the fluid rise, the steady gaze of ancient wisdom. If you possessed knowledge that could heal or harm, how would you choose to use such profound responsibility? You're standing now in an African savanna where the ground trembles beneath feet that have walked these same paths for millions of years, carrying both wisdom and unstoppable power. The African elephant, Loxodonta africana, weighs up to 14,000 pounds and possesses enough strength to uproot trees or flip vehicles when threatened. These highly intelligent giants inhabit 37 African countries, living in complex matriarchal societies with emotional bonds spanning decades. Human-elephant conflict increases as habitats shrink, resulting in approximately 200 human deaths annually across Africa, while poaching claims 35,000 elephants yearly. They're primarily peaceful herbivores, consuming 300 pounds of vegetation daily while engineering landscapes through seed dispersal. Their memory allows recognition of hundreds of individuals and navigation across vast territories using infrasound communication below human hearing. African cultures celebrate them as symbols of wisdom, strength, and ancestral connection, featuring prominently in creation myths and royal lineages. The deep rumble of conversation, the gentle whoosh of ears like great fans, the patient shuffle across endless horizons. How much memory would be too much to carry if every path reminded you of those who walked beside you? You're walking now along a tropical beach at low tide, where something beautiful and deadly hides in plain sight among scattered shells and coral fragments. The cone snail, Conus geographus, carries one of nature's most sophisticated chemical weapon systems within its elegant spiral shell. These marine mollusks inhabit Indo-Pacific coral reefs from Australia to Hawaii, moving with deceptive slowness across sandy bottoms. Shell collectors and curious beachcombers occasionally handle them, unaware that their proboscis can extend like a hypodermic needle, injecting conotoxin powerful enough to kill 20 adults. Around 30 cone snail stings occur annually worldwide, with fatality rates near 70% before anti-venom development. They hunt fish, worms, and other mollusks by harpooning them with modified radular teeth, each containing specific neurotoxins. Pacific Island cultures knew them as cigarette snails. You had time to smoke one cigarette before the venom took effect. What deadly beauty might be hiding in the most innocent-looking packages around us? Dear listeners, you're standing now beside the Nile River at sunset, where something that looks like a floating boulder suddenly reveals teeth longer than your forearm. The hippopotamus, Hippopotamus amphibius, weighs up to 8,000 pounds and kills more humans in Africa than any other large mammal except mosquitoes. These semi-aquatic giants inhabit rivers and lakes across sub-Saharan Africa, spending up to 16 hours daily submerged to protect their sensitive skin. Fishermen, villagers collecting water, and tourists encounter them during territorial disputes, resulting in approximately 500 human deaths annually across Africa. Their massive jaws can snap a canoe in half with 1 to 800 pounds of bite force, while their surprising speed reaches 30 mph on land. They're herbivores by day, grazing on riverbank vegetation during cool nights, but fiercely defend their aquatic territories from any perceived threat. Ancient Egyptians associated them with the goddess Taweret, protector of childbirth, respecting their maternal ferocity. How can something so heavy move through water like a graceful dancer, yet charge across land like unstoppable fury? You're walking now through the Sonoran Desert at dawn, where something prehistoric emerges from beneath a sun-warmed rock like a living piece of ancient pottery. The Gila monster, Heloderma suspectum, remains one of only 2 venomous lizards in the world, inhabiting southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico. These stocky reptiles grow up to 2 feet long, their black and pink bead-like scales serving as warning coloration in desert landscapes. Hikers, pet owners, and desert residents occasionally encounter them during spring activity periods, leading to 5 to 10 bites annually in Arizona. Their venom causes excruciating pain, swelling, and weakness, but rarely proves fatal due to their docile nature and slow delivery system. They hunt bird eggs, small mammals, and nestlings, using their keen sense of smell, storing fat in their thick tails for months-long fasting periods. Native American tribes viewed them as sacred creatures, believing their breath could bring disease or death, earning respect through cautious distance. What would it be like to carry such potent medicine within you, dispensing it only when absolutely necessary? Hey friends, you're walking now through Australian rainforest, where something tall and prehistoric steps through morning mist like a feathered velociraptor brought to life. The southern cassowary, Casuarius casuarius, stands 6 feet tall with dagger-like claws capable of disemboweling predators with a single kick. These flightless birds inhabit tropical rainforests of northeastern Australia and New Guinea, serving as crucial seed dispersers for over 200 plant species. Hikers, photographers, and local residents encounter them during breeding season or when defending territories, resulting in 1-2 serious attacks annually in Australia. Their powerful legs can run 30 mph through dense jungle, while their bony casque helmet crashes through vegetation like a living battering ram. They're primarily frugivorous, swallowing whole fruits and dispersing seeds across vast territories, but become aggressive when protecting chicks or feeling cornered. Indigenous peoples considered them spirits of the rainforest, powerful guardians requiring proper protocols and respectful distance. The deep boom of their call, the crash of breaking branches, the flash of brilliant blue neck feathers. If you were the living bridge between earth and sky, carrying forest seeds to new worlds, how carefully would you guard that responsibility? Dear listeners, you're sitting now in a traditional Japanese restaurant where a master chef prepares the world's most dangerous delicacy with movements precise as a surgeon. The fugu, or pufferfish, Takifugu rubripes, contains tetrodotoxin concentrated in its liver, ovaries, and skin, while 200 times more poisonous than cyanide. These spiny fish inhabit coastal waters throughout the Pacific, inflating into spiky balls when threatened by predators. Diners seeking the ultimate culinary experience occasionally consume improperly prepared fugu, resulting in 20 to 44 poisoning cases annually in Japan, with 6 to 8 fatalities. The toxin causes complete paralysis while maintaining consciousness, creating a death both terrifying and strangely peaceful. They feed on mollusks, crustaceans, and algae, concentrating toxins from their prey in specific organs through bioaccumulation. Japanese culture elevates fugu preparation to high art, requiring 3 years of training and government licensing for chefs. The gentle scrape of the knife, the precise removal of deadly parts, the thin slices arranged like translucent flowers. What would make you willing to risk everything for a single perfect moment of transcendent experience? You're crossing now the Sahara Desert under a canopy of stars, where something golden scuttles across cooling sand like a living jewel armed with liquid lightning. The death-stalker scorpion, Leiurus quinquestriatus, possesses one of the most potent venoms in the arachnid world, capable of killing children and adults with compromised immune systems. These pale yellow arthropods inhabit arid regions from North Africa to the Middle East, perfectly adapted to extreme temperature fluctuations and water scarcity. Desert travelers, researchers, and local populations encounter them in rocky crevices and under stones, resulting in thousands of stings annually across their range. Their venom contains powerful neurotoxins that cause excruciating pain, paralysis, and potentially fatal respiratory failure. They hunt insects, spiders, and small vertebrates using their pincers and venomous stinger with remarkable precision in complete darkness. Bedouin cultures respect them as symbols of survival and patience, creatures that thrive where others perish. The soft whisper of legs on sand, the curved tail arched in eternal readiness, the fluorescent glow under ultraviolet moonlight. How do you find beauty in something designed to survive where nothing else can live? You're diving now in the clear waters of a coral reef, where something ancient watches from shadowy crevices with jaws that never seem to close. The moray eel, Gymnothorax javanicus, can grow up to 10 feet long with powerful jaws containing 2 sets of teeth, one for grasping, another for pulling prey down their throat. These muscular fish inhabit tropical and subtropical waters worldwide, making their homes in coral reefs, rocky shores, and underwater caves. Divers, fishermen, and snorkelers encounter them when reaching into crevices or approaching too closely, resulting in 5-10 documented bites annually in popular diving locations. Their bite delivers deep puncture wounds that heal slowly and often become infected, though they lack venom and rarely attack unless provoked. They hunt fish, octopus, and crustaceans primarily at night, using their excellent sense of smell to navigate murky waters. Polynesian cultures viewed them as protective spirits of the reef, guardians of underwater treasures and sacred spaces. The gentle undulation through water, the constant opening and closing of jaws, the patient wait in twilight corners. What would you protect if you spent your entire life guarding the threshold between light and darkness? Hey friends, you're walking now through Central American rainforest, where something beautiful and deadly coils among fallen leaves like a living rope of earth and shadow. The fer-de-lance, Bothrops asper, strikes faster than the human eye can follow, delivering hemotoxic venom that causes tissue death and internal bleeding. These heavy-bodied vipers inhabit forests from Mexico to northern South America, perfectly camouflaged among leaf litter and low vegetation. Agricultural workers, hikers, and rural communities encounter them frequently, making them responsible for more snakebite deaths in Central America than any other species. Their venom causes severe pain, swelling, and necrosis, with mortality rates of 5 to 10% even with medical treatment. They hunt birds, small mammals, and frogs, using heat-sensing pits and lightning-fast strikes, then track wounded prey through chemical trails. Indigenous peoples called them terciopelo, velvet, for their beautiful patterns, treating them with fearful respect in forest ceremonies. The soft rustle of leaves, the patient coil, the strike too fast for comprehension, the return to stillness. How can something so beautiful carry such devastating consequences hidden within its elegant form? Dear listeners, you're walking now across African savanna, where something smaller than your fingernail carries the power to reshape entire civilizations. The tsetse fly, Glossina morsitans, transmits trypanosomiasis, sleeping sickness, affecting both humans and livestock across sub-Saharan Africa. These blood-feeding flies inhabit woodland and savanna regions in 36 African countries, their presence determining where humans can settle and farm. Rural populations, travelers, and livestock herders encounter them during daily activities, resulting in approximately 10,000 new sleeping sickness cases annually, according to WHO surveillance. Their bite injects parasitic trypanosomes that cross the blood-brain barrier, causing neurological symptoms and eventual death without treatment. They feed exclusively on vertebrate blood, using visual and olfactory cues to locate hosts, preferring large mammals like cattle and antelope. African cultures developed complex seasonal migration patterns and livestock management systems specifically to avoid tsetse-infested areas. The high-pitched whine of tiny wings, the sudden sharp pain, the invisible threat reshaping human geography. How can something so small determine where millions of people can safely call home? You're sitting now in Australian outback, where something prehistoric basks on sun-warmed rocks, transforming from docile sunbather to fearsome display with remarkable speed. The bearded dragon, Pogona viticeps, inflates its spiky throat pouch and opens its mouth in an impressive threat display that rarely leads to actual violence. These adaptable lizards inhabit arid and semi-arid regions across eastern and central Australia, thriving in diverse habitats from deserts to woodlands. Pet owners, wildlife enthusiasts, and hikers encounter them frequently, though bites are uncommon and typically result in minor puncture wounds requiring basic first aid. They're opportunistic omnivores, eating insects, small vertebrates, and vegetation depending on seasonal availability and life stage. Their thermoregulation behavior includes arm waving, head bobbing, and color changes that communicate social status and territorial boundaries. Aboriginal Australians incorporated them into Dreamtime stories as clever survivors, creatures that prosper through adaptation rather than aggression. The gentle rustle of scales on stone, the sudden dark expansion of the throat pouch, the patient return to basking position. Hey friends, if you're loving this gentle journey through nature's most fascinating creatures, don't forget to subscribe for more soothing animal stories. What would the world be like if we all learned to threaten first and fight only when absolutely necessary? You're sitting now in a quiet garden shed where something elegant weaves death into silken geometry, her red hourglass marking time until the next visitor arrives. The black widow spider, Latrodectus mactans, possesses venom 15 times more potent than a rattlesnake's, though she delivers it in much smaller doses. These glossy arachnids inhabit temperate regions across North America, preferring dark, undisturbed spaces like woodpiles, garages, and outdoor furniture. Gardeners, maintenance workers, and homeowners encounter them when reaching into hidden spaces, resulting in approximately 2,500 bites annually in the United States. Their neurotoxic venom causes muscle cramps, paralysis, and severe pain, though fatalities remain rare with modern medical care. They hunt insects caught in their irregular webs, wrapping prey in silk before injecting digestive enzymes. The female's reputation for eating males after mating occurs less frequently in nature than folklore suggests. Native American legends portrayed them as weavers of fate, spinning destinies in moonlit corners. What stories would you weave if every thread you touched could mean life or death? Dear listeners, you're wading now through Amazon waters where something silver flashes like scattered coins, each one armed with teeth sharper than surgical scalpels. The red-bellied piranha, Pygocentris naturari, forms schools of up to 1,000 individuals in South American rivers, their razor-sharp teeth capable of stripping flesh to bone in minutes. These compact fish inhabit the Amazon and Orinoco river basins, thriving in warm, slow-moving waters during dry seasons when prey becomes concentrated. Fishermen, swimmers, and riverside communities encounter them during low water periods, though attacks on humans remain relatively rare despite sensationalized media portrayals. Their triangular teeth lock together like serrated shears designed for quick, clean cuts rather than prolonged attacks. They primarily feed on fish, insects, and fruits, only exhibiting aggressive feeding frenzies during extreme drought conditions or when defending nests. Indigenous peoples respect them as symbols of survival and adaptation, creatures that thrive when resources become scarce. The gentle splash of feeding, the silver flash beneath dark water, the ancient hunger refined to perfect efficiency. How would you survive if cooperation became the difference between feast and famine? You're walking now through Colombian rainforest, where something brilliant moves like a living gemstone across emerald moss, its beauty hiding one of nature's most potent chemical weapons. The golden poison dart frog, Philobates terribilis, contains enough batrachotoxin in its skin to kill 10 adult humans with a single touch. These thumbnail-sized amphibians inhabit a tiny range of Pacific coastal rainforest in Colombia, their bright yellow coloration serving as warning to potential predators. Indigenous hunters, researchers, and eco-tourists occasionally encounter them, though direct contact remains extremely rare due to their small population and remote habitat. Their alkaloid toxins prevent nerve transmission, causing immediate paralysis and cardiac arrest in most vertebrates. They hunt small insects and spiders using their sticky tongues, concentrating toxins from their ant-based diet into specialized skin glands. The Embera people traditionally use their secretions to tip hunting arrows, treating the frogs as sacred sources of life and death. The soft patter of tiny feet on leaves, the brilliant flash of warning color, the delicate balance between beauty and lethality. What would it feel like to carry such power in a body small enough to sit on a coin? Hey friends, you're floating now in tropical waters where something prehistoric glides through blue depths with a mouth capable of eating almost anything it encounters. The tiger shark, Galeocerdo cuvier, earned its nickname, Wastebasket of the Sea, for consuming everything from sea turtles to license plates with equal efficiency. These powerful predators inhabit warm coastal waters worldwide, growing up to 18 feet long with distinctive dark stripes that fade with age. Surfers, divers, and fishermen encounter them in shallow waters, particularly around islands and river mouths, leading to 25-30 attacks annually according to international shark attack files. Their serrated teeth can saw through turtle shells and whale bones, while their powerful jaws generate bite forces exceeding 6,000 newtons. They hunt primarily at night using electroreception and lateral line systems, consuming fish, seals, birds, and occasionally marine debris. Hawaiian culture honors them as Aumakua, ancestor spirits protecting families and guiding lost souls home. The slow sweep of the tail, the methodical patrol of twilight waters, the ancient patience of perfectly adapted hunger. What would you consume if you had the power to digest almost anything the world offered you? Dear listeners, you're sitting now beside sacred Ganges waters, where something that looks like a floating log suddenly reveals jaws lined with over 100 needle-sharp teeth. The gharial, Gavialis gangeticus, represents one of the world's most critically endangered crocodilians, with fewer than 200 breeding adults remaining in Indian and Nepalese rivers. These narrow-snouted reptiles can reach 20 feet in length, their bizarre elongated jaws perfectly designed for catching fish in swift-flowing waters. Fishermen, pilgrims, and researchers encounter them in remaining river sanctuaries, though attacks on humans remain virtually unknown due to their fish-specialized diet and docile nature. Their thin snouts would break under the stress of attacking large prey, limiting them to fish, frogs, and small aquatic creatures. Males develop a distinctive bulbous growth called a gara on their snout tip, used for vocalizing during mating displays. Hindu traditions consider them sacred guardians of river systems, associates of the god Vishnu, who maintains cosmic balance. The gentle splash of a fish being caught, the ancient eyes watching from still water, the whispered prayers of pilgrims. What would you sacrifice to master one skill so completely that nothing else mattered? You're peering now into a coral reef crevice where something extraordinary watches you with the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom, its fists ready to strike with the force of a bullet. The mantis shrimp, Odontodactylus cillaris, possesses club-like appendages that strike with acceleration comparable to a .22 caliber bullet, creating cavitation bubbles that collapse with temperatures reaching 8,500 to go. These colorful crustaceans inhabit tropical and subtropical marine environments worldwide, living in elaborate burrows they excavate in coral reefs and sandy bottoms. Marine biologists, aquarium enthusiasts, and divers occasionally encounter them while exploring reefs, though interactions remain rare due to their secretive nature. Their strikes can shatter aquarium glass and break human fingers, delivered in 2.5 milliseconds with forces exceeding 340 pounds per square inch. They hunt crabs, fish, and mollusks using either spearing or smashing techniques, depending on their species and prey preferences. Their 16 types of color receptors, compared to humans' 3, allow them to see polarized light and detect subtle camouflage. Pacific cultures admired them as masters of both art and war, creatures combining rainbow beauty with devastating martial skill. If you could see colors beyond imagination and strike faster than thought, how would you choose to use such gifts? You're swimming now in cool northern waters, where something ancient attaches itself like a circular nightmare, its rasping mouth designed for a feeding strategy unchanged for 360 million years. The sea lamprey, Petromyzon marinus, represents one of the oldest vertebrate lineages, surviving multiple mass extinctions with its eel-like body and parasitic lifestyle. These jawless fish inhabit both marine and freshwater environments across the North Atlantic, attaching to larger fish with their circular sucker-like mouths. Commercial fishermen, researchers, and occasionally swimmers encounter them during their spawning migrations, though attacks on humans remain extremely rare and typically non-fatal. Their rasping tongue scrapes through host skin and scales, allowing them to feed on blood and other bodily fluids for months. They undergo complex life cycles, spending years as filter-feeding larvae before metamorphosing into parasitic adults that eventually spawn and die. Native American tribes viewed them as symbols of persistence and transformation, creatures that survived by adapting rather than dominating. The wet suction of attachment, the ancient hunger refined over eons, the circular rows of keratin teeth working steadily. What would you give up to survive unchanged while the entire world transformed around you? Hey friends, you're tracking now through snowy boreal forest, where something compact and fearless challenges creatures 10 times its size with legendary ferocity. The wolverine, Gulo gulo, weighs only 40 pounds, yet routinely drives bears and wolves away from kills through sheer aggressive determination. These stocky mustelids inhabit remote wilderness areas across Canada, Alaska, and northern Eurasia, requiring vast territories up to 240 square miles for a single individual. Trappers, hikers, and researchers occasionally encounter them in backcountry areas, though direct confrontations remain rare due to their naturally elusive behavior. Their powerful jaws can crush bones and frozen meat, while their semi-retractable claws provide excellent traction on ice and snow. They scavenge carrion year-round and cache food in natural refrigerators created by permafrost and snow caves. Their thick fur never accumulates ice, making them perfectly adapted to extreme cold conditions. Indigenous Inuit cultures honored them as symbols of fearlessness and survival, spirits that taught humans how to thrive in impossible conditions. What size would your spirit need to be to face every challenge without backing down? Dear listeners, you're walking now through shallow tropical waters, where something graceful glides beneath your feet like a living carpet armed with a venomous barb. The southern stingray, Hypanus americanus, buries itself in sandy bottoms throughout the Caribbean and western Atlantic, its whip-like tail armed with one or more serrated spines. These flattened cartilaginous fish can reach 6 feet across, perfectly camouflaged against sandy and muddy seafloors in depths from shallows to 180 feet. Beachgoers, snorkelers, and fishermen accidentally step on them while wading, resulting in approximately 1,500 to 2,000 stingray injuries annually in the United States alone. Their venomous barb causes excruciating pain, tissue death, and occasionally life-threatening allergic reactions, though fatalities remain extremely rare. They feed primarily on mollusks, worms, and small fish by using their flattened bodies to uncover prey buried in sediment. Their electroreception abilities allow them to detect hidden prey through weak electrical fields generated by muscle contractions. Caribbean cultures respected them as guardians of underwater treasures, gentle spirits that defended themselves only when threatened. How would you choose to live if your greatest strength required perfect stillness and infinite patience? You're standing now on a remote Indonesian island where something massive moves through tall grass like a living prehistoric legend, its forked tongue tasting the air for signs of prey. The Komodo dragon, Varanus komodoensis, remains the world's largest living lizard, reaching 10 feet in length and weighing up to 200 pounds on just 5 small Indonesian islands. These apex predators possess a venomous bite that prevents blood clotting, combined with powerful jaws and razor-sharp teeth designed for tearing flesh. Tourists, researchers, and local villagers encounter them during guided visits or village interactions, resulting in occasional bites that require immediate medical attention. Their hunting strategy involves inflicting wounds and patiently following weakened prey for days until infection and blood loss prove fatal. They consume deer, pigs, water buffalo, and occasionally smaller dragons, swallowing prey up to 80% of their own body weight. Their excellent sense of smell can detect carrion from up to 5 miles away using their specialized Jacobson's organ. Local folklore portrays them as descendants of dragons, powerful spirits deserving both fear and respect. What would it mean to rule an island kingdom where you were both the apex predator and the last of your kind? You're trekking now through Central American rainforest, where something inch-long carries the most painful sting in the insect kingdom, earning a perfect score on the Schmidt pain scale. The bullet ant, Paraponera clavata, delivers a neurotoxic sting described as walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail in your heel by entomologist Justin Schmidt. These massive ants inhabit lowland rainforests from Nicaragua to Paraguay, building colonies in tree bases and fallen logs throughout humid tropical zones. Researchers, loggers, and indigenous hunters encounter them while working in primary forest areas, resulting in dozens of documented stings annually across their range. Their ponerotoxin causes waves of excruciating pain lasting up to 24 hours, accompanied by temporary paralysis and uncontrollable shaking. They hunt alone or in small groups, preying on insects and small arthropods using their powerful mandibles and venomous stinger. Satare Mawe tribes use them in painful initiation ceremonies, weaving hundreds into gloves that young warriors must wear to prove their courage and endurance. What pain would you willingly endure to prove you belong to something greater than yourself? Dear listeners, you're hiking now through Alaskan wilderness, where something massive moves through berry patches with surprising grace, its power hidden beneath a deceptively peaceful demeanor. The grizzly bear, Ursus arctos horribilis, can weigh up to 800 pounds and run 35 miles per hour despite its bulk, possessing claws longer than human fingers and strength capable of flipping cars. These omnivorous giants inhabit wilderness areas across Alaska, western Canada, and scattered populations in the northwestern United States. Hikers, campers, and photographers encounter them during salmon runs or while foraging, leading to 1-2 serious attacks annually in North America despite millions of wilderness visits. Their diet consists primarily of plants, fish, and small mammals, with humans representing 0% of their natural food preferences. They possess excellent memories and can remember productive feeding sites for decades, returning seasonally to specific locations. Native American cultures honored them as powerful medicine spirits, creatures embodying both gentle wisdom and fierce protection of family. The soft shuffle through undergrowth, the the gentle snuffling of investigation, the sudden burst of protective fury when cubs are threatened. How would you balance gentleness with the power to reshape your entire world? You're walking now through Australian suburban gardens where something deadly lurks in backyard burrows, its fangs capable of penetrating fingernails and soft shoes. The Sydney funnel web spider, Atrax robustus, possesses venom containing atracotoxin, which specifically targets the nervous systems of primates and proves fatal within 15 minutes without treatment. These aggressive arachnids inhabit a 100-mile radius around Sydney, constructing silk-lined burrows in moist soil under rocks, logs, and garden structures. Homeowners, gardeners, and children encounter them during humid weather when males wander seeking mates, resulting in 30-40 bites annually before antivenom development. Their venom causes massive neurotransmitter release, leading to severe pain, muscle spasms, and cardiovascular collapse in humans. They hunt insects, beetles, and small vertebrates using trip lines radiating from their burrow entrances to detect vibrations. Males become particularly aggressive during mating season, wandering into homes and swimming pools where they can survive underwater for hours. Aboriginal Australians recognize them as powerful spirit guardians, protectors of underground realms requiring respectful distance. What would drive you to leave safety behind and wander into unknown territory seeking connection? Hey friends, you're swimming now in Amazon tributaries where something serpentine generates up to 600 volts of electricity capable of stunning a horse or powering a small light bulb. The electric eel, Electrophorus electricus, isn't actually an eel, but a knife fish that can grow up to 8 feet long, using specialized cells called electrocytes to produce powerful electrical discharges. These aquatic predators inhabit slow-moving freshwaters throughout the Amazon and Orinoco basins, preferring muddy bottoms and shallow areas with abundant vegetation. Fishermen, swimmers, and researchers encounter them in shallow waters, particularly during dry seasons when fish concentrate in remaining pools. Their electrical discharge can cause immediate paralysis, cardiac arrhythmia, and drowning in humans who venture too close to large specimens. They hunt fish, amphibians, and invertebrates by stunning prey with precisely controlled electrical pulses before swallowing them whole. They must surface every 10 minutes to breathe air, despite being aquatic, using a modified swim bladder as a lung. Indigenous peoples learned to drive cattle and horses through eel-inhabited waters first, exhausting the fish before safe human crossing. What power would you choose if you could generate your own energy but needed to surface regularly to breathe? Dear listeners, you're standing beneath African acacia trees, where something emerald moves like a living vine, its rear-fanged bite delivering hemotoxins that cause victims to bleed from every orifice. The boomslang, Dyspholetus typus, possesses the most potent venom of any rear-fanged snake, causing severe coagulopathy that prevents blood clotting throughout the victim's body. These arboreal serpents inhabit sub-Saharan African woodlands and savannas, spending most of their lives in trees where their excellent camouflage makes them nearly invisible. Field researchers, bird watchers, and rural communities occasionally encounter them during tree climbing or pruning activities, though bites remain extremely rare due to their shy nature. Their venom requires hours to take effect, initially causing subtle symptoms before progressing to internal bleeding and potential death within days. They hunt primarily birds, chameleons, and eggs using exceptional eyesight and lightning-fast strikes from concealed positions. Males develop brilliant green coloration during breeding season, while females remain brown and cryptically colored year-round. African folklore portrays them as ancestral spirits inhabiting the boundary between earth and sky, messengers moving between worlds. How would you choose to live if your greatest strength required perfect stillness and infinite patience? You're walking now through southwestern deserts where something metallic blue hunts the most feared arachnids with surgical precision, turning spiders into living nurseries for its offspring. The tarantula hawk wasp, Pepsis grossa, delivers the second most painful sting in the insect world, while specializing in paralyzing tarantulas up to 8 times their own weight. These iridescent wasps inhabit arid regions from the southwestern United States to South America, patrolling desert floors and rocky outcrops in search of their specialized prey. Hikers, researchers, and desert enthusiasts occasionally disturb them during ground activities, though their docile nature toward humans makes stings extremely rare. Their sting causes immediate, excruciating pain lasting several minutes, described as blinding, fierce, shockingly electrics by pain scale creator Justin Schmidt. They hunt tarantulas by dragging paralyzed spiders to prepared burrows, laying a single egg on the living but immobilized host. The wasp larva feeds on the spider's body fluids for weeks, carefully avoiding vital organs to keep its food fresh. Desert peoples respected them as symbols of patience and precision, creatures that turn the hunter into the hunted through superior skill. What would you sacrifice to ensure your children had everything they needed to survive in a harsh world? You're snorkeling now in coral reef shallows where something striped glides through crystal waters like a living ribbon, its venom 10 times more potent than a cobra's, yet its nature remarkably peaceful. The banded sea crate, Latacauda colubrina, possesses extremely potent neurotoxic venom, but rarely bites humans, preferring to flee rather than fight when encountered. These semi-aquatic serpents inhabit tropical Indo-Pacific waters from India to Fiji, spending equal time in ocean and on land where they digest meals and shed their skin. Divers, fishermen, and coastal residents encounter them in shallow reefs and rocky shores, yet documented bites remain extraordinarily rare due to their non-aggressive temperament. Their venom causes rapid paralysis and respiratory failure, though their small mouth and reluctance to bite makes envenomation unlikely. They hunt eels and small fish in coral crevices, using their flat, paddle-like tail for swimming and excellent underwater vision. Females grow larger than males and return to traditional nesting beaches where they lay eggs in coastal caves and rock crevices. Pacific Island cultures honored them as sea spirits, bridges between the underwater and terrestrial worlds, symbols of peaceful coexistence. How would you choose to use overwhelming power if gentleness served you better than aggression? Hey friends, you're exploring now South American rainforest floors, where something the size of a dinner plate scuttles through leaf litter with legs spanning nearly a foot across. The Goliath bird-eater, Theraposa blondi, ranks as the world's largest spider by mass, weighing up to 6 ounces and possessing fangs capable of penetrating human skin like thick needles. These massive tarantulas inhabit humid lowland rainforests of northern South America, constructing deep burrows lined with silk in forest floor depressions. Researchers, ecotourists, and indigenous hunters encounter them during nocturnal activities when they emerge to hunt for insects, frogs, and small vertebrates. Their bite delivers mild venom comparable to a wasp sting in humans, though their primary defense involves kicking urticating hairs that cause severe irritation to skin and respiratory systems. They hunt primarily ground-dwelling insects, small reptiles, and amphibians, despite their common name rarely consuming birds. They communicate through vibrations, drumming their legs against surfaces to signal territorial boundaries and mating availability. Indigenous Piaroa people consider them delicacies, roasting them over fires and describing their taste as similar to shrimp or crab meat. What would it feel like to be gentle despite everyone fearing your size and assuming your intentions? Dear listeners, you're floating now near Antarctic ice floes, where something sleek and powerful glides through icy waters with a smile that reveals canine teeth longer than your thumb. The leopard seal, Hydrurga leptonix, reaches 12 feet in length and weighs up to 1,300 pounds, making it the Antarctic's most formidable predator after killer whales. These solitary hunters inhabit pack ice zones around Antarctica, using ice floes as resting platforms between hunting expeditions in sub-zero waters. Marine biologists, photographers, and Antarctic researchers encounter them near research stations, where curious individuals sometimes approach ice edges and zodiacs. Their powerful jaws can deliver crushing bites capable of puncturing thick wetsuits, though attacks on humans remain extremely rare and usually investigatory rather than predatory. They hunt penguins, seals, fish, and krill using remarkable underwater agility, often playing with prey in behaviors that appear almost cat-like. Their streamlined bodies can accelerate to 25 mph underwater, while their flexible necks allow them to strike in nearly any direction. Antarctic folklore among research station personnel portrays them as curious but unpredictable neighbors, reminders of humanity's vulnerability in polar environments. What would curiosity look like if you were the apex predator in one of Earth's most extreme environments? You're standing now in a flowering meadow where something small and industrious has inherited both the productivity of European bees and the fierce territorial instincts of African ancestors. The Africanized honeybee, Apis mellifera scutellata hybrid, responds to threats with 10 times more aggressiveness than European honeybees, pursuing perceived enemies for up to a quarter mile. These highly defensive insects have spread throughout the Americas since their accidental release in Brazil in 1957, adapting to diverse climates from tropical rainforests to temperate zones. Beekeepers, hikers, and homeowners encounter defensive swarms when vibrations or disturbances trigger colony protection responses, resulting in several hundred stings requiring medical attention annually. Their individual venom remains identical to European honeybees, but their tendency to attack in larger numbers and pursue threats longer creates more dangerous encounters. They pollinate crops and wild plants with exceptional efficiency while producing honey, wax, and maintaining ecological balance through their foraging activities. Their rapid reproduction and strong survival instincts help them establish new colonies quickly in suitable habitats. Agricultural communities learn to respect their space while benefiting from their superior pollination services and honey production. Hey friends, if you're enjoying this peaceful journey through nature's most remarkable creatures, don't forget to subscribe for more calming stories. How would you balance the need to protect what you love with the desire to share its sweetness with the world? You're walking now through Indian agricultural fields at dusk, where something perfectly camouflaged waits among fallen leaves, its triangle-shaped head containing enough venom to kill 20 adults. Russell's viper, Daboia russellii, causes more snakebite deaths across Asia than any other species, earning its reputation as one of the big 4 venomous snakes of India. These heavy-bodied serpents inhabit grasslands, scrublands, and agricultural areas from India to Southeast Asia, thriving in human-modified landscapes where rodent populations flourish. Farmers, field workers, and rural villagers encounter them during harvesting and evening activities, resulting in approximately 25,000 bites annually across their range. Their hemotoxic venom causes severe bleeding, kidney failure, and tissue death, with mortality rates reaching 10 to 20% even with medical treatment. They hunt rats, mice, and birds using heat-sensing pits and lightning-fast strikes, helping control agricultural pest populations. Their defensive behavior includes loud hissing and aggressive striking when threatened, warning potential threats from considerable distances. Hindu traditions recognize them as guardians of grain stores, powerful spirits deserving both fear and grudging respect. What price would you pay for protection that came with such terrible consequences? Dear listeners, you're floating now in pristine Australian waters where something smaller than your thumbnail drifts like a crystal ghost, carrying enough venom to induce potentially fatal syndrome. The Irukandji jellyfish, Carukia barnesi, possesses a bell only 12 to 20 millimeters across, making it nearly invisible to swimmers yet capable of delivering life-threatening envenomation. These tiny cnidarians inhabit tropical waters around northern Australia and the Indo-Pacific, often appearing in large numbers during certain weather conditions and tidal patterns. Swimmers, snorkelers, and divers encounter them in shallow coastal waters, particularly during summer months when warming ocean temperatures bring them closer to shore. Their sting initially feels minor, like a mosquito bite, but within 30 minutes can cause Irukandji syndrome featuring excruciating pain, hypertension, and potentially fatal cardiac complications. They hunt small fish and zooplankton using their 4 tentacles, each containing thousands of microscopic nematocysts loaded with potent neurotoxins. Their transparency makes them virtually undetectable in water, even with protective stinger suits providing limited defense. Coastal Aboriginal peoples learned to recognize seasonal patterns and weather conditions that increased encounter risks. How would you navigate a world where the smallest threats carried the greatest dangers? You're standing now beneath African forest canopies, where something magnificent soars through dappled shadows, its talons capable of crushing skulls and its hunting prowess targeting prey much larger than itself. The crowned eagle, Stephanoetus coronatus, remains Africa's most powerful eagle, specializing in hunting primates including monkeys and occasionally small children in remote forest areas. These apex avian predators inhabit dense forests from West Africa to South Africa, preferring primary and secondary forest ecosystems with tall canopy cover. Rural communities, researchers, and forest workers encounter them during canopy activities, though attacks on humans remain extremely rare and typically involve mistaken identity or nest defense. Their talons exert crushing pressure exceeding 500 pounds per square inch, designed for penetrating primate skulls and breaking vertebrae with surgical precision. They hunt primarily colobus monkeys, duikers, and small antelopes using stealth approaches through forest understory before delivering lightning-fast strikes. Their distinctive crown of feathers rises when excited or threatened, while their haunting call echoes through forest depths during territorial displays. African folklore portrays them as royal messengers, powerful spirits carrying prayers between earth and ancestral realms. What would it mean to be crowned with power that demanded both respect and careful responsibility? Hey friends, you're beachcombing now along Indo-Pacific shores, where something beautiful hides among scattered shells, its geometric patterns masking one of the ocean's most sophisticated killing mechanisms. The textile cone snail, Conus textile, launches harpoon-like radular teeth containing conotoxins so potent they can kill a human within hours of injection. These predatory mollusks inhabit coral reefs and sandy areas throughout the tropical Indo-Pacific, from the Red Sea to Hawaii, creating elaborate geometric shell patterns that collectors prize worldwide. Shell collectors, marine enthusiasts, and coastal walkers occasionally handle live specimens, unaware of their deadly potential hidden within beautiful shells. Their venom cocktail contains over 100 different compounds targeting specific nervous system receptors, causing rapid paralysis and respiratory failure in vertebrates. They hunt fish and marine worms by extending their proboscis like a hypodermic needle, injecting prey with precisely calibrated toxin doses. Their shells have been traded as currency and decorative items across Pacific cultures for thousands of years. Island peoples developed careful handling traditions, recognizing their deadly beauty and treating them as powerful ocean spirits requiring respectful distance. What would you create if your art had to be both breathtakingly beautiful and perfectly lethal? Dear listeners, you're traversing now African savannas, where something compact and fearless challenges lions, raids beehives, and shrugs off venomous snake bites with legendary indifference to danger. The honey badger, Mellivora capensis, weighs only 35 pounds, yet routinely drives much larger predators away from kills through sheer aggressive determination and remarkable resilience. These tenacious mustelids inhabit diverse ecosystems from African grasslands to Indian forests, adapting to almost any environment where sufficient prey and shelter exist. Beekeepers, farmers, and wildlife researchers encounter them during raids on hives, chicken coops, and research camps, though attacks on humans remain rare despite their fearless reputation. Their thick, loose skin allows them to twist and bite attackers even when grabbed, while their powerful claws can dig through concrete and their teeth crush turtle shells. They hunt everything from insects to small antelopes, specializing in raiding bee colonies for honey and larvae, using their remarkable tolerance for stings. Their metabolism processes snake venom so efficiently they can recover from potentially lethal bites within hours. African cultures celebrate them as symbols of courage and persistence, creatures teaching that size matters less than determination. What would you attempt if you knew that giving up was simply not part of your nature? You're diving now in cold Pacific waters, where something extraordinary moves like liquid intelligence through rocky crevices, its 8 arms spanning 30 feet, and its problem-solving abilities rivaling those of marine mammals. The giant Pacific octopus, Enteroctopus doflani, represents the largest octopus species, weighing up to 600 pounds, and possessing cognitive abilities that continue to astonish marine biologists worldwide. These cephalopod giants inhabit North Pacific waters from Japan to California, preferring rocky reefs and underwater caves in depths ranging from shallow tide pools to 6,500 feet. Commercial divers, researchers, and recreational divers encounter them in their den sites, though interactions remain peaceful due to their curious but non-aggressive nature toward humans. Their 1,600 suction cups can exert tremendous gripping force, while their beak can crack through crab shells, and their strength allows manipulation of objects weighing hundreds of pounds. They hunt crabs, fish, and sharks using camouflage, stealth, and remarkable problem-solving abilities, including tool use and complex hunting strategies. Their intelligence includes opening jars, navigating mazes, and recognizing individual humans, while their lifespans sadly last only 3 to 5 years. Pacific Northwest cultures honored them as wise ocean spirits, masters of transformation, and keepers of underwater mysteries. If you possessed such intelligence but only a few short years to use it, what wisdom would you choose to share? You're sailing now across southern ocean swells, where something magnificent glides on wings spanning 12 feet, riding air currents for hours without a single wing beat in journeys covering millions of miles. The wandering albatross, Diomedea exulans, possesses the longest wingspan of any living bird and can travel 75 miles per hour in storm winds that would ground other aircraft. These oceanic giants inhabit subantarctic waters around the Southern Ocean, spending 85% of their lives airborne over some of Earth's most treacherous seas. Commercial fishermen, sailors, and researchers encounter them around fishing vessels and remote islands, though their size and powerful beaks make close contact potentially dangerous. Their massive beaks can crush bones, and their wingspan creates significant striking force during territorial disputes or nest defense on breeding islands. They hunt squid, fish, and crustaceans by surface, plunging and scavenging, following ships for days to capitalize on fishing waste and galley scraps. Their extraordinary navigation abilities allow them to locate specific islands across thousands of miles of identical ocean using magnetic fields and celestial cues. Maritime folklore across southern hemispheres honors them as souls of lost sailors, eternal wanderers carrying messages between the living and the departed. What would you discover if you could spend your entire life exploring the boundary between sea and sky? Hey friends, you're hiking now through Sonoran desert landscapes where something ancient and colorful emerges from rocky crevices like a living piece of prehistoric pottery armed with venomous bite. The Gila monster, Heloderma suspectum, remains one of only 2 venomous lizards in the world, possessing grooved teeth that deliver neurotoxic venom through persistent chewing motions. These stocky reptiles inhabit desert regions of southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico, spending up to 95% of their time underground in burrows during extreme temperatures. Hikers, pet enthusiasts, and desert residents occasionally encounter them during spring and fall activity periods when they emerge to hunt and mate. Their venom causes excruciating pain, swelling, and weakness lasting several hours, though their docile nature and slow movement make bites extremely rare. They hunt bird eggs, nestlings, and small mammals using their acute sense of smell, storing fat in their thick tails for extended periods of inactivity. Their beaded scales create striking pink and black patterns that serve as warning coloration while providing protection against desert abrasions. Native American tribes considered them sacred creatures possessing powerful medicine, treating encounters as significant spiritual events requiring proper protocols and offerings. What treasures would you guard if you carried both beauty and medicine within your very being? Dear listeners, you're walking now through African twilight where something spotted moves like liquid shadow through tall grass, its perfect hunting machine body capable of hauling prey twice its weight into treetop larders. The leopard, Panthera pardus, represents perhaps the most adaptable big cat, thriving in habitats from African savannas to Asian rainforests while maintaining territories overlapping with human settlements. These solitary predators inhabit diverse ecosystems across Africa and Asia, from desert mountains to tropical rainforests, adapting their hunting strategies to local prey and environmental conditions. Rural communities, livestock herders, and park visitors encounter them during nocturnal activities, particularly in areas where human development encroaches on traditional territories. Their bite force exceeds 400 pounds per square inch, while their muscular build allows them to drag large kills up vertical tree trunks to avoid competition from other predators. They hunt everything from insects to young giraffes using stealth, patience, and explosive speed, adapting their techniques to available prey and habitat constraints. Their rosette patterns provide perfect camouflage in dappled light, while their silent movement through vegetation makes them nearly undetectable even at close range. African and Asian cultures honor them as symbols of stealth and adaptability, powerful spirits teaching survival through flexibility rather than force. How would you adapt if your survival depended on becoming invisible in every environment you encountered? You're snorkeling now over Indo-Pacific coral reefs, where something perfectly disguised as algae-covered rock waits motionless among genuine stones, its dorsal spines loaded with the most potent fish venom known to science. The stonefish, Sinancea horrida, possesses 13 venomous spines capable of penetrating rubber soles and injecting neurotoxins that cause excruciating pain and potential cardiac arrest. These masters of disguise inhabit shallow tropical waters from the Red Sea to Australia, camouflaging so perfectly among coral debris that even marine biologists struggle to locate them. Swimmers, snorkelers, and fishermen accidentally step on them in shallow reef areas, resulting in 5-15 stings annually in Australia alone, with several requiring emergency medical intervention. Their venom causes immediate severe pain, described as worse than childbirth, accompanied by tissue death, paralysis, and cardiovascular complications lasting days or weeks. They hunt small fish and crustaceans by remaining completely motionless until prey ventures within striking distance of their lightning-fast jaws. Their warty skin perfectly mimics coral texture and coloration, while algae growth on their bodies enhances their deceptive appearance. Pacific Island cultures respected them as guardian spirits of the reef, powerful protectors testing whether humans approached coral gardens with proper awareness and humility. What would perfect camouflage teach you about the difference between hiding and protecting what you love most? You're dining now in a Tokyo restaurant where master chefs prepare the world's most dangerous delicacy with surgical precision, one wrong cut away from serving instant death on porcelain plates. The pufferfish, Takifugu rubripes, contains tetrodotoxin concentrated in its liver and ovaries, 1,200 times more toxic than cyanide and completely undetectable by taste or smell. These spiny fish inhabit temperate and tropical waters worldwide, inflating into defensive spiky balls when threatened by predators or disturbed by curious divers. Sushi enthusiasts and adventurous diners occasionally consume improperly prepared fugu, resulting in 2044 poisoning cases annually in Japan with mortality rates around 6 to 8%. Their toxin causes complete paralysis while maintaining consciousness, creating a death both terrifying and strangely peaceful as victims remain aware throughout respiratory failure. They feed on algae, mollusks, and small crustaceans, bioaccumulating neurotoxins from their diet into specialized organs through careful metabolic processes. Japanese culture elevated fugu preparation to spiritual art form, requiring 3 years of training and government licensing. The delicate scraping of knife on cutting board, the precise removal of deadly organs, the ultimate culinary gamble. What would make a single bite worth risking everything you've ever known or loved? Dear listeners, you're paddling now through Amazon tributaries where something powerful moves like liquid muscle through riverside vegetation, its crushing bite the strongest of any cat species pound for pound. The jaguar, Panthera onca, possesses jaw muscles capable of crushing turtle shells and caiman skulls with 1,500 pounds of bite force per square inch. These stocky predators inhabit rainforests from Mexico to Argentina, preferring areas near water sources where they demonstrate remarkable swimming abilities unlike most cats. River travelers, researchers, and indigenous communities encounter them during nocturnal hunts along waterways, though attacks on humans remain extremely rare despite their formidable capabilities. Their hunting strategy includes diving underwater to catch fish and attacking caimans from behind, delivering skull-crushing bites that kill instantly rather than suffocating prey like other big cats. They consume everything from fish and birds to tapirs and deer, adapting their techniques to rainforest's diverse prey opportunities. Their rosette patterns provide perfect camouflage in dappled forest light, while their silent movement through dense vegetation makes detection nearly impossible. Indigenous Amazonian cultures honor them as powerful shamanic spirits, guardians of the green world, teaching respect for water's life-giving power. How would you use overwhelming strength if you chose precision over brute force in every encounter? You're camping now in Middle Eastern deserts where something small and irritable creates a distinctive warning sound by rubbing its scales together like a living rattle made of sandpaper. The saw-scaled viper, Echis carinatus, causes more human deaths than any other snake species worldwide, despite its modest 18-inch length and relatively small venom yield. These aggressive vipers inhabit arid regions from Africa through the Middle East to India, thriving in rocky deserts, scrublands, and semi-arid agricultural areas. Herders, travelers, and agricultural workers encounter them during evening activities when these nocturnal hunters become active, resulting in thousands of bites annually across their vast range. Their hemotoxic venom causes severe bleeding disorders, kidney failure, and death within hours if untreated, while their small size allows them to hide in shoes, sleeping bags, and equipment. They hunt lizards, frogs, small mammals, and birds using ambush tactics from concealed positions among rocks and vegetation. Their defensive coiling exposes specialized scales that create the distinctive warning sound when rubbed together during threat displays. Bedouin cultures learn to recognize their warning sounds, respecting these tiny desert guardians while maintaining careful distance during nighttime activities. What would you warn the world about if your voice could only whisper through the grinding of your own bones? Hey friends, you're sleeping now in a Central American village where something silent approaches on wings of velvet, performing surgery so precise you might never feel the incision. The vampire bat, Desmodus rotundus, feeds exclusively on blood using razor-sharp teeth and anticoagulant saliva that prevents clotting while maintaining wounds for extended feeding periods. These specialized mammals inhabit tropical and subtropical regions from Mexico to South America, roosting in caves, hollow trees, and abandoned buildings in colonies of 21,000 individuals. Livestock owners, rural residents, and campers occasionally become hosts during nocturnal feeding activities, though bites typically go unnoticed due to natural anesthetic compounds in bat saliva. Their primary danger comes from disease transmission, particularly rabies, with vampire bat bites accounting for most rabies cases in Latin American livestock and occasional human infections. They locate blood vessels using heat sensors and infrared detection, making surgical incisions with teeth sharper than medical scalpels while injecting local anesthetics. Their highly social behavior includes food sharing among colony members, with successful feeders regurgitating blood meals for hungry roost mates. Indigenous peoples respected them as symbols of sacrifice and community care, creatures teaching that survival sometimes requires taking from others while giving back to family. What would you sacrifice to ensure your family never went hungry, even if it meant becoming misunderstood? Dear listeners, you are standing now beneath South American canopy, where something magnificent swoops through emerald shadows with talons larger than grizzly bear claws and eyesight 8 times sharper than human vision. The harpy eagle, Harpia harpygia, possesses the strongest grip of any raptor, exerting over 530 pounds of pressure per square inch through talons designed for crushing primate spines. These apex aerial predators inhabit primary rainforests from southern Mexico to northern Argentina, requiring vast territories of undisturbed forest canopy for successful hunting and nesting. Indigenous hunters, researchers, and ecotourists occasionally observe them during canopy work, though their elusive nature and declining numbers make encounters increasingly rare. Their hunting strategy focuses on sloths, monkeys, and arboreal mammals, using incredible maneuverability through dense vegetation and silent flight to approach prey undetected. They can carry prey weighing up to 75% of their own body weight while navigating through complex forest understory with remarkable precision. Their distinctive facial disc and crown of feathers create an almost mythical appearance that inspired countless legends among forest peoples. Amazonian cultures honor them as messengers between earthly and spiritual realms, powerful guardians of ancient forest wisdom requiring protection rather than fear. What would you protect if you possessed the power to rule the sky but needed ancient trees to call home? You're floating now in murky Australian billabongs, where something prehistoric lurks motionless in water, its yellow eyes the only hint of intelligence that survived unchanged for 200 million years. The saltwater crocodile, Crocodilus porosus, represents the ultimate ambush predator, capable of remaining perfectly still for hours before exploding into action with devastating speed and power. These apex reptiles inhabit coastal waters and river systems from India to northern Australia, growing up to 23 feet long with bite forces exceeding 3,700 pounds per square inch. Fishermen, swimmers, and riverside communities face approximately 1,000 attacks globally each year, with fatality rates near 25%, making them among the world's most dangerous large predators. Their hunting strategy involves the infamous death roll, rapidly rotating underwater to disorient prey while drowning and dismembering victims simultaneously. They consume everything from fish and birds to water buffalo, using their powerful tail as both propulsion and weapon, while their armored hide deflects most attacks. Their excellent memory allows recognition of seasonal patterns and individual hunting grounds maintained for decades. Aboriginal Australians viewed them as ancestral beings, powerful spirits connecting present life with primordial dreamtime creation stories. How would you measure time if patience was your greatest weapon and eternity felt like an afternoon? You're exploring now Australian tide pools where something smaller than a golf ball displays the most beautiful warning coloration in the marine world while carrying enough venom to kill 26 adults. The blue-ringed octopus, Hapaloclina maculosa, transforms from cryptic brown camouflage to brilliant electric blue rings when threatened, advertising its lethal nature through breathtaking beauty. These tiny cephalopods inhabit rocky shores and coral reefs throughout the Indo-Pacific, preferring shallow areas where curious beachcombers and tide pool explorers might accidentally encounter them. Marine enthusiasts, children, and photographers occasionally handle them unknowingly, attracted by their small size and stunning appearance during defensive displays. Their bite delivers tetrodotoxin with no antidote available, causing rapid paralysis while victims remain fully conscious throughout respiratory failure. They hunt small crabs, shrimp, and fish using stealth and precision strikes, their soft bodies allowing passage through impossibly small crevices between rocks. Their short lifespan of only 6 to 8 months makes every encounter precious, as these remarkable creatures pack extraordinary beauty and danger into brief but brilliant lives. Pacific Island cultures warned children about rainbow spirits hiding in shallow waters, teaching respect for small but powerful ocean guardians. How would you choose to shine if you knew your entire lifetime lasted less than a single season? You're walking now through West African rainforests, where something perfectly disguised as fallen leaves possesses the longest fangs and highest venom yield of any snake in the world. The gaboon viper, Vitis gabonica, delivers up to 7 milliliters of potent cytotoxic venom through 2-inch fangs, enough to kill multiple adult elephants with a single bite. These massive vipers inhabit primary and secondary rainforests from Guinea to Tanzania, achieving perfect camouflage among leaf litter through intricate geometric patterns resembling dried vegetation. Loggers, researchers, and forest workers occasionally step on them during ground activities, though their docile nature and reluctance to bite makes encounters rarely fatal. Their venom causes massive tissue destruction, severe bleeding, and rapid cardiovascular collapse, though their sluggish temperament means they prefer to remain hidden rather than defend aggressively. They hunt birds, small mammals, and frogs using patient ambush tactics, sometimes waiting motionless for weeks until suitable prey ventures within striking distance. Their heat-sensing pits detect warm-blooded animals even in complete darkness, while their incredible striking speed compensates for their otherwise sedentary lifestyle. African forest peoples learn to walk carefully and probe ahead with sticks, recognizing these gentle giants as powerful medicine spirits deserving respectful distance. What would perfect stillness teach you about the difference between hiding and simply being present? Hey friends, you're exploring now tropical caves where something ancient scuttles across stone walls like a living fossil armed with venomous claws and an attitude unchanged since before dinosaurs walked the earth. The Amazonian giant centipede, Scolopendra gigantea, can reach 12 inches in length and possesses venom-injecting forcipules capable of subduing prey much larger than itself, including bats, birds, and small mammals. These predatory arthropods inhabit caves, rotting logs, and soil throughout northern South America, emerging at night to hunt with remarkable speed and aggressive determination. Cave explorers, researchers, and tropical hikers encounter them in dark, humid environments where their presence often goes unnoticed until direct contact occurs. Their venom causes severe pain, swelling, and tissue damage in humans, though fatalities remain extremely rare despite the intense localized effects lasting several days. They hunt everything from insects to vertebrates using speed, venom, and powerful mandibles, capable of hanging upside down in caves to snatch flying bats from midair. Their segmented body provides incredible flexibility, while their numerous legs create surprisingly fast locomotion across any surface or angle. Indigenous peoples respected them as guardians of underground realms, powerful spirits protecting cave entrances and hidden treasures from unworthy intruders. What would you guard if you were built to thrive in darkness where others feared to venture? Dear listeners, you're hiking now through northern forests, where something massive moves between birch trees like a walking wall of muscle topped with antlers spanning 6 feet and weighing 40 pounds. The moose, Alces alces, stands 7 feet tall at the shoulder and can weigh 1,500 pounds, making it the largest member of the deer family and surprisingly one of the most dangerous animals in North America. These forest giants inhabit boreal and mixed deciduous forests across Alaska, Canada, and northern United States, preferring wetland areas where aquatic vegetation provides essential minerals. Drivers, hikers, and photographers encounter them during rutting season or when females protect calves, resulting in more injuries annually than bear and wolf attacks combined in most northern regions. Their powerful legs can deliver kicks capable of crushing skulls or breaking bones, while their massive antlers become formidable weapons during territorial disputes. They feed primarily on aquatic plants, leaves, and bark, consuming up to 60 pounds of vegetation daily while wading through marshes and shallow lakes. Their excellent swimming abilities include diving 20 feet underwater for food, while their long legs allow passage through deep snow that stops other large mammals. Nordic cultures honored them as symbols of wilderness strength, forest kings deserving both admiration and careful respect. Hey friends, if this peaceful journey through nature's most remarkable creatures is helping you unwind, don't forget to subscribe for more soothing animal stories. What would it mean to carry such gentle power that your very presence commanded respect without ever seeking conflict? You're visiting now Southeast Asian night markets where something adorable with enormous eyes hides the only venomous primate on Earth beneath its teddy bear appearance. The slow loris, Nycticebus kukeng, secretes toxins from elbow glands that become lethal when mixed with saliva, causing severe allergic reactions and tissue necrosis in attackers. These nocturnal primates inhabit tropical forests from Bangladesh to the Philippines, moving through canopy branches with deliberate precision that masks their defensive capabilities. Pet traders, tourists, and local communities encounter them in wildlife markets, unaware that their seemingly docile nature conceals potent chemical weapons. Their bite delivers a cocktail of proteins that can cause anaphylactic shock, severe swelling, and permanent tissue damage in humans sensitive to their particular toxin combination. They hunt insects, birds' eggs, and tree sap using their specialized hands and night vision, coating their young with venom for protection while foraging. Their enormous eyes and slow movements create false impressions of harmlessness that protect them from most predators. Southeast Asian folklore portrays them as magical forest spirits, wise creatures whose appearance deceives enemies while protecting ancient woodland secrets. What would you hide behind innocence if your survival depended on everyone underestimating your true nature? Dear listeners, you're walking now across African savannas, where something elegant strides through grasslands on legs like a runway model, hunting venomous snakes with kicks that deliver 36 pounds of force per square inch. The secretary bird, Sagittarius serpentarius, stands 4 feet tall and possesses the unique ability among raptors to hunt primarily on foot rather than from the air. These terrestrial eagles inhabit open grasslands and savannas throughout sub-Saharan Africa, covering up to 20 miles daily while hunting for reptiles, small mammals, and insects. Game rangers, researchers, and safari visitors observe them during ground hunts, though their powerful legs make close approaches inadvisable during defensive displays. Their hunting strategy involves stamping prey to death with lightning-fast kicks, capable of killing venomous snakes instantly while avoiding bites through precise timing and footwork. They consume everything from grasshoppers to small tortoises, swallowing prey whole when possible or dismembering larger items with their sharp beaks. Their distinctive crest of long feathers resembles old-fashioned quill pens, giving them their common name and regal appearance. African cultures honor them as symbols of wisdom and justice, powerful spirits capable of defeating evil through righteous strength and careful judgment. How would you walk through dangerous territory if your feet were your most powerful weapons? You're exploring now Australian riverbanks, where something that looks like nature's practical joke possesses venomous spurs capable of causing excruciating pain lasting months in human victims. The platypus, Ornithorhynchus anatinus, remains one of only two venomous mammals, with males developing hollow spurs on hind legs that inject cocktails of neurotoxins during territorial disputes. These bizarre monotremes inhabit freshwater systems along Australia's eastern coast, spending equal time in water and elaborate burrow systems excavated in riverbanks. Researchers, wildlife enthusiasts, and riverside campers occasionally encounter territorial males during breeding season, though attacks remain extremely rare due to their secretive nature. Their venom causes immediate severe pain described as worse than being struck by lightning, accompanied by swelling that can last weeks and sensitivity that persists for months. They hunt aquatic invertebrates, small fish, and crustaceans using electroreception through their bills, detecting electrical fields generated by muscle contractions in complete darkness. Their unique combination of mammalian, reptilian, and bird characteristics puzzled early European scientists, who initially dismissed specimens as elaborate hoaxes. Aboriginal Australians knew them as water spirits, mysterious creatures bridging different worlds through their impossible combination of features. What would you become if you had to be everything at once? Ancient and modern, gentle and dangerous, impossible yet real. Hey friends, you're diving now in temperate waters where something graceful circles with a tail longer than its entire body, capable of stunning multiple fish simultaneously with whip-like strikes. The thresher shark, Alopius vulpinus, uses its extraordinary elongated tail fin as a weapon, creating shock waves that disorient schools of fish before consuming stunned prey. These pelagic predators inhabit temperate and tropical oceans worldwide, preferring open waters where their unique hunting strategy proves most effective against schooling fish. Commercial fishermen, sport anglers, and divers encounter them during feeding activities, though their focus on small schooling fish makes human attacks virtually unknown. Their tail strikes create cavitation bubbles and pressure waves that can stun or kill small fish from several feet away, representing one of nature's most sophisticated ranged hunting techniques. They consume sardines, mackerel, and squid almost exclusively, using their whiptail hunting method to overcome the numerical advantage of schooling prey. Their graceful swimming motion disguises tremendous power, while their shy nature around large animals makes close encounters rare but memorable. Maritime cultures admired them as symbols of precision and patience, elegant hunters teaching that finesse often proves superior to brute force. What would you accomplish if you turned your greatest feature into your most effective tool? Dear listeners, you're observing now African grasslands, where something beautifully painted coordinates pack hunts with 85% success rates, higher than any other large predator on the continent. The African wild dog, Lycaon pictus, demonstrates remarkable cooperation and democratic decision-making, with pack members voting on hunt directions through distinctive sneezing sounds. These endangered canids inhabit savannas, grasslands, and semi-arid regions across sub-Saharan Africa, requiring vast territories to support their nomadic lifestyle and complex social structure. Conservationists, researchers, and safari guides encounter them during pack activities, though their declining numbers make sightings increasingly precious rather than dangerous. Their hunting strategy involves relay chasing, with pack members taking turns to exhaust prey over distances exceeding 35 miles at speeds reaching 45 mph. They consume everything from small antelopes to young wildebeest, sharing kills according to strict social hierarchies that prioritize pups and pack leaders. Their unique coat patterns serve as individual identification, while their large, rounded ears provide excellent hearing for coordinated pack communication. African folklore celebrates them as symbols of cooperation and family loyalty, teaching that collective wisdom and shared responsibility create strength beyond individual capabilities. How would you make decisions if every choice required consulting those who depended on your success? You're walking now through Colombian cloud forests, where something brilliant as a jewel carries enough alkaloid toxins in its skin to kill 10 adult humans through simple contact. The golden poison dart frog, Philobates terribilis, concentrates batrachotoxin from its specialized ant diet into skin secretions that remain lethal for years, even after the frog's death. These thumbnail-sized amphibians inhabit a minute range of Pacific coastal rainforest in Colombia, their bright yellow warning coloration visible against green moss from considerable distances. Indigenous hunters, researchers, and ecotourists rarely encounter them due to their restricted habitat and critically endangered status in remaining forest fragments. Their skin toxins prevent nerve impulse transmission, causing immediate paralysis and cardiac arrest in most vertebrates that attempt to consume or handle them. They hunt specialized ants and small arthropods whose alkaloid-rich bodies provide the chemical building blocks for their deadly defensive secretions. Their brilliant coloration serves as a aposematic warning, while their tiny size belies their tremendous chemical potency. The Embera people traditionally used their secretions for arrow tips, treating each frog as a sacred source of hunting medicine requiring proper ceremonies and offerings. What responsibility would you carry if your very touch could mean the difference between life and death? You're floating now in Arctic waters, where something magnificent surfaces with intelligence rivaling our own, its 6-ton body housing a brain capable of complex emotions, cultural traditions, and sophisticated hunting strategies. The orca, or Sinus orca, represents the ocean's apex predator, using coordinated pack hunting, tool use, and cultural knowledge passed through generations to dominate marine ecosystems worldwide. These cosmopolitan cetaceans inhabit every ocean from Arctic ice to tropical seas, developing distinct populations with unique languages, hunting traditions, and social structures that persist for centuries. Marine biologists, whale watchers, and indigenous coastal peoples encounter them during feeding and social activities, though attacks on humans remain virtually unknown in wild populations. Their hunting strategies include beaching themselves to catch seals, using waves to wash prey from ice floes, and coordinating complex group attacks on much larger whales. They consume everything from fish and squid to great white sharks and blue whales, adapting their techniques to local prey and environmental conditions. Their sophisticated vocalizations include distinct dialects that identify family groups and cultural traditions spanning multiple generations. Pacific Northwest cultures honor them as powerful spiritual beings, whale people whose intelligence and family bonds mirror the best aspects of human society. What wisdom would you carry if your family's knowledge accumulated over hundreds of generations? Hey friends, you're walking now through Central American coffee plantations, where something beautiful coils among fallen leaves like living velvet, its heat-sensing pits detecting your body temperature from 6 feet away. The fer de lance, Bothrops asper, delivers more venomous bites in Central America than any other snake species, earning its fearsome reputation among agricultural workers and rural communities. These heavy-bodied vipers inhabit forests and plantations from Mexico to Ecuador, perfectly adapted to both primary rainforest and human-modified agricultural landscapes. Coffee farmers, banana workers, and rural residents encounter them during harvest activities and evening tasks, resulting in hundreds of bites annually across their range. Their hemotoxic venom causes severe tissue destruction, internal bleeding, and potential death within hours without prompt medical treatment and anti-venom administration. They hunt birds, small mammals, and frogs using patient ambush tactics, remaining motionless for days until suitable prey ventures within striking distance of their lightning-fast attacks. Their beautiful geometric patterns provide perfect camouflage among leaf litter, while their live birth reproductive strategy allows successful colonization of diverse habitats. Indigenous peoples called them terciopelo, meaning velvet, respecting their deadly beauty while developing traditional remedies and avoidance strategies through careful forest knowledge. What would you weave if every thread of your existence balanced beauty with the potential for devastating consequences? Dear listeners, you're exploring now Venezuelan rainforest floors, where something the size of a dinner plate moves through leaf litter with surprising gentleness, despite fangs capable of penetrating fingernails. The Goliath bird-eater tarantula, Theraphosa blondi, weighs up to 6 ounces with an 11-inch leg span, making it the world's largest spider by mass, despite its relatively docile temperament. These massive arachnids inhabit humid lowland forests of northern South America, constructing silk-lined burrows in forest floor depressions where they spend most of their lives. Researchers, indigenous hunters, and ecotourists encounter them during nocturnal activities when they emerge to hunt insects, small reptiles, and amphibians throughout the forest understory. Their primary defense involves kicking urticating hairs that cause severe irritation to skin and respiratory systems, while their bite delivers mild venom comparable to a bee sting in humans. They hunt ground-dwelling insects, frogs, and occasionally small birds, using stealth and speed rather than web construction, their excellent night vision compensating for poor eyesight during daylight hours. Their intimidating size creates fear disproportionate to their actual danger, while their important role as pest controllers benefits forest ecosystems. Indigenous Piaroa people consider them delicacies, roasting them over fires and describing their taste as similar to crab or lobster meat. How would you use overwhelming presence if your true nature was gentleness disguised as fearsome power? You're standing now on frozen Kamchatka shores, where something magnificent soars overhead with wings spanning 8 feet and talons larger than human hands, representing one of the heaviest eagles on Earth. Steller's sea eagle, Haliaeetus pelagicus, weighs up to 20 pounds, with a beak powerful enough to tear through frozen salmon and crush bones with remarkable ease. These massive raptors inhabit coastal regions around the Sea of Okhotsk, Kamchatka Peninsula, and northeastern Asia, requiring abundant fish resources and suitable nesting trees for successful breeding. Fishermen, researchers, and wildlife photographers encounter them around fishing ports and salmon runs, though their impressive size and powerful weapons demand respectful distance. Their hunting strategy focuses on salmon, cod, and carrion, using their massive size advantage to dominate feeding sites and drive away competing scavengers. They consume primarily fish supplemented by seabirds, small mammals, and marine carrion, adapting their diet to seasonal availability and local abundance patterns. Their distinctive yellow beak and white shoulders create unmistakable silhouettes against stormy northern skies, while their deep calls echo across windswept coastlines. Russian and indigenous Siberian cultures honor them as symbols of wilderness strength and endurance, powerful spirits capable of surviving the harshest conditions on Earth. What would you survey if you ruled the boundary between the world's most unforgiving sea and sky? You're snorkeling now over coral reefs where something colorful glides like an underwater butterfly, its tail armed with razor-sharp spines that can slice through wetsuit material and human skin with surgical precision. The striped surgeonfish, Acanthurus lineatus, possesses retractable scalpel-like spines on either side of its tail that extend during territorial disputes and defensive encounters. These vibrant reef fish inhabit Indo-Pacific coral systems from the Red Sea to Hawaii, establishing territories around prime algae grazing areas that they defend aggressively against intruders. Divers, snorkelers, and marine aquarium enthusiasts encounter them in shallow reef environments, particularly when venturing too close to established feeding territories during daylight hours. Their tail spines can inflict deep lacerations that bleed profusely and heal slowly due to marine bacteria, though attacks remain defensive rather than predatory in nature. They graze continuously on algae and detritus, using specialized teeth, maintaining crucial ecological balance by preventing algal overgrowth that could smother coral polyps. Their brilliant blue and yellow stripes serve as warning coloration, while their aggressive territorial behavior protects essential reef real estate. Pacific Island cultures recognized them as reef guardians, protective spirits teaching respect for underwater boundaries. What would you defend if your garden was essential to an entire underwater community's survival? Dear listeners, you're hiking now through Scottish Highlands, where something perfectly camouflaged among heather possesses the distinction of being the only venomous snake in many northern European countries. The European adder, Vipera berus, survives farther north than any other venomous snake, even crossing the Arctic Circle in Scandinavia through remarkable cold weather adaptations. These hardy vipers inhabit diverse environments from sea level to mountain meadows across Europe and Asia, preferring areas with abundant cover and seasonal temperature variation. Hikers, berry pickers, and countryside walkers encounter them during basking periods on sunny days, though their shy nature means most interactions occur accidentally. Their venom causes significant pain, swelling, and systemic effects, with approximately 100 bites reported annually across the UK, though deaths remain extremely rare with proper medical care. They hunt small mammals, birds, and amphibians, using heat-sensing abilities and patient ambush tactics, timing strikes precisely when prey ventures within range. Their distinctive zigzag dorsal pattern provides excellent camouflage among shadows and vegetation, while their ability to hibernate for 6 months enables survival in harsh climates. Nordic folklore portrays them as symbols of resilience and patience, creatures teaching survival through adaptation rather than aggression. How would you endure if half your life required complete stillness while waiting for better times? You're exploring now tropical tide pools, where something that looks like a delicate underwater flower conceals some of the most potent marine toxins known to science. The flower urchin, Toxopnustus pileolus, disguises its venomous spines beneath colorful petal-like appendages that can deliver potentially fatal stings to curious beachcombers. These deceptive echinoderms inhabit Indo-Pacific coral reefs and rocky shores from Japan to Australia, camouflaging among coral rubble and seaweed in shallow coastal waters. Tide pool explorers, marine collectors, and snorkelers occasionally handle them, while attracted to their beautiful flower-like appearance, unaware of the deadly potential hidden beneath. Their venom contains powerful neurotoxins that cause severe pain, paralysis, and respiratory difficulties, with several documented fatalities despite their innocent appearance. They filter feed on plankton and small organic particles, while their flower-like pedicellariae serve both as defensive weapons and cleaning tools for removing debris. Their remarkable mimicry represents one of nature's most successful examples of aggressive mimicry, where predators disguise themselves as harmless objects. Pacific coastal cultures learn to recognize their deceptive beauty, teaching children to observe carefully before touching anything in tide pools. What lessons would you learn if the most beautiful things in your world carried the greatest hidden dangers? Hey friends, you're standing now on windswept sub-Antarctic shores, where something massive soars overhead with wings spanning 7 feet, combining the scavenging habits of vultures with the power to kill seal pups. These formidable seabirds inhabit southern ocean waters and sub-Antarctic islands, requiring strong winds and abundant marine carrion to support their opportunistic lifestyle. Antarctic researchers, expedition cruise passengers, and wildlife photographers encounter them at penguin colonies and seal beaches where their imposing presence dominates feeding sites. Their aggressive territorial behavior around food sources can result in serious injuries from powerful beak strikes and wing buffets, particularly during breeding season when they become highly protective. They consume everything from krill and fish to seal carrion and penguin eggs, adapting their diet to seasonal availability and local abundance patterns. Their excellent flying abilities allow them to cover vast distances searching for food, while their strong stomach acids enable consumption of putrid carrion. Antarctic folklore among research station personnel portrays them as harbingers of storms, powerful spirits whose presence signals changing weather patterns. What would you become if you had to be both elegant in flight and ruthless on the ground? Dear listeners, you're diving now over Great Barrier Reef waters, where something that looks like a living crown jewel slowly devours entire coral ecosystems with thousands of tiny tube feet. The crown of thorns starfish, Acanthaster plancy, can grow up to 2 feet across with 12 to 19 arms covered in venomous spines that inject painful toxins into anything that touches them. These coral predators inhabit Indo-Pacific reef systems, occasionally experiencing population explosions that can devastate thousands of acres of living coral in single seasons. Marine biologists, divers, and reef conservation workers encounter them during monitoring activities, requiring protective equipment due to their venomous defensive capabilities. Their spines deliver painful toxins that cause severe swelling, nausea, and intense localized pain lasting several hours, with symptoms persisting for days in sensitive individuals. They consume living coral polyps by everting their stomachs and externally digesting coral tissue, leaving behind white limestone skeletons in their wake. Their reproductive strategy involves releasing millions of eggs during synchronized spawning events, allowing rapid population increases under favorable conditions. Pacific Island cultures viewed them as symbols of natural balance, understanding that their periodic outbreaks represented part of reef ecosystem cycles requiring patience and acceptance. How would you handle overwhelming abundance if your success meant destroying the very foundation of your world? You're observing now from a safe distance on California beaches, where something massive emerges from gray waves like a living boulder, its inflatable trunk and tremendous bulk commanding absolute dominance over crowded rookeries. The elephant seal, Mirunga angustirostris, weighs up to 5,000 pounds with males capable of crushing rivals or accidentally trampling anything in their path during violent territorial battles. These marine giants inhabit Pacific coastal waters and breeding beaches from Alaska to Mexico, requiring remote sandy shores for their spectacular but dangerous mating aggregations. Marine biologists, photographers, and beach visitors observe them during breeding season, maintaining mandatory distances due to their unpredictable aggression and crushing weight. Their territorial fights involve rearing up on flippers and crashing down with bone-breaking force, while their massive size makes even accidental contact potentially fatal for humans. They feed primarily on deep-sea squid and fish during months-long oceanic journeys, fasting completely while on land during breeding and molting periods. Their elephant-like trunk amplifies roars that carry for miles, establishing dominance hierarchies and warning competitors away from established territories. Coastal Native American cultures honored them as symbols of strength and perseverance, powerful ocean spirits teaching lessons about survival through endurance. What territories would you claim if your very presence could reshape the landscape around you? You're floating now in Australian kelp forests, where something magical drifts like animated seaweed, its perfect camouflage hiding surprisingly effective defensive capabilities beneath ethereal beauty. The leafy sea dragon, Phycodurus equus, possesses bony armor beneath its ornate appendages, and sharp spines capable of inflicting painful wounds on careless handlers. These elaborate seahorse relatives inhabit temperate coastal waters of southern and western Australia, requiring specific kelp forest ecosystems for their specialized lifestyle and camouflage strategies. Marine aquarium collectors, divers, and researchers encounter them in shallow kelp beds, though their cryptic nature and protected status make interactions increasingly rare. Their defensive spines and bony plates provide protection against small predators, while their perfect plant mimicry allows them to avoid detection by larger threats. They hunt tiny mysid shrimp and other planktonic prey by suction feeding, using their tubular snouts to create powerful vacuum forces that capture food. Their elaborate leafy appendages serve purely for camouflage, providing no swimming assistance while making them nearly indistinguishable from floating kelp fronds. Australian Aboriginal cultures recognize them as spirits of transformation, magical beings teaching lessons about adaptation and the power of becoming one with your environment. What would you become if survival required you to be living art that no one could recognize as alive? Hey friends, you're walking now along Pacific Northwest beaches where something enormous lives buried beneath your feet. Its massive siphon capable of delivering surprising defensive sprays to unwary beachcombers. The geoduck clam, Panopia generosa, grows up to 8 pounds with a siphon extending 3 feet from its shell, representing one of the longest-lived animals on Earth, with lifespans exceeding 165 years. These giant mollusks inhabit sandy and muddy substrates along the Pacific coast, from Alaska to California, burying themselves up to 3 feet deep in protective sediment layers. Commercial harvesters, recreational diggers, and beach explorers encounter them during low-tide excavations, though their powerful siphon contractions can surprise the unprepared. Their defensive capability involves forcefully ejecting streams of water and sand that can knock people off balance or spray irritating particles into eyes and faces. They filter feed continuously on plankton and organic particles, processing massive volumes of seawater through their enormous siphons throughout their century-plus lifespans. Their incredible longevity makes them living time capsules, carrying environmental information spanning multiple human generations within their shell growth rings. Pacific Northwest Native American cultures honored them as symbols of patience and longevity, ancient spirits teaching respect for creatures whose lives span many human generations. What wisdom would you accumulate if you experienced more than a century of ocean changes from your underground perspective? Dear listeners, you're exploring now Australian deserts, where something remarkable transforms individual colony members into living honey barrels, their abdomens swelling to grape-sized proportions with stored nectar. The honeypot ant, Camponotus inflatus, creates specialized worker castes called repletes that hang from nest ceilings as living food storage, regurgitating honey to feed the colony during drought periods. These desert specialists inhabit arid regions of southwestern United States, Mexico, and Australia, developing sophisticated resource management strategies for surviving unpredictable rainfall patterns. Entomologists, indigenous collectors, and desert researchers encounter them in specialized underground chambers, though their defensive workers can deliver painful bites when threatened. Their defensive capabilities include soldier ants with powerful mandibles and coordinated group attacks using formic acid and aggressive biting behaviors against perceived threats. They collect nectar from desert flowers and honeydew from aphids, processing and concentrating these resources into honey stored within living repletes for months or years. Their social organization represents one of nature's most sophisticated resource management systems, with different castes performing specialized roles from foraging to storage to defense. Aboriginal Australian and Native American cultures traditionally harvested honeypot ants as seasonal delicacies, respecting their complex societies while benefiting from their concentrated nutrients. What would you sacrifice if your body could become the difference between your community's survival and starvation? You're standing now on Himalayan cliff faces, where something magnificent soars with 9-foot wings, possessing the unique ability among birds to digest bones and the power to drop them from great heights to access marrow. The lammergeier, Gepetus barbatus, represents one of the largest birds of prey, specializing in a diet consisting of 85% bone material while maintaining territories spanning hundreds of square miles. These bone-eating giants inhabit mountain ranges across Europe, Asia, and Africa, requiring high cliffs for nesting and strong thermal currents for their energy-efficient soaring lifestyle. Mountain climbers, wildlife photographers, and high-altitude researchers encounter them at extreme elevations, though their massive size and powerful talons command respectful distance. Their hunting strategy involves carrying bones weighing up to 20 pounds to heights of 250 feet before dropping them onto rocks to shatter them and expose nutritious marrow. They consume bone fragments up to 9 inches long, digesting them completely using stomach acids more powerful than those of most scavengers. Their distinctive bearded appearance and rust-colored plumage create unmistakable silhouettes against mountain skylines, while their patient circling behavior can continue for hours. Mountain cultures across their range honor them as symbols of patience and resourcefulness, powerful spirits capable of finding sustenance where others see only waste. Hey friends, if this soothing journey through nature's most remarkable adaptations is helping you relax, don't forget to subscribe for more peaceful animal stories. What heights would you reach if you could find nourishment in what others considered worthless? You're camping now in Saharan dunes, where something perfectly disguised moves like flowing sand, its side-winding locomotion creating delicate S-shaped patterns while concealing one of Africa's deadliest serpents. The carpet viper, Echis pyramidum, causes more snakebite fatalities across the Sahel than any other species, despite measuring only 2 feet in length and possessing a relatively modest venom yield. These desert specialists inhabit sandy and rocky regions across North Africa and the Middle East, thriving in environments too harsh for most vertebrate life. Nomadic herders, travelers, and oil workers encounter them during evening activities when these nocturnal hunters become active, often stepping on them accidentally in darkness. Their hemotoxic venom causes severe bleeding disorders, kidney failure, and death within hours if left untreated, while their small size allows them to hide in shoes, sleeping bags, and equipment. They hunt lizards, small mammals, and birds using ambush tactics from concealed positions beneath sand or among rocks. Their warning behavior involves creating distinctive rasping sounds by rubbing specially modified scales together while coiling defensively. Bedouin cultures learned to recognize their unique tracks and sounds, respecting these tiny desert spirits while maintaining careful vigilance during nighttime activities. What melodies would you create if your song could mean the difference between safety and sorrow? Dear listeners, you're sitting now in a peaceful garden where something alien unfolds its arms like a living prayer, its triangular head turning with mechanical precision to track movement with compound eyes. The praying mantis, Mantis religiosa, possesses lightning-fast reflexes and serrated forelegs capable of decapitating prey in milliseconds while maintaining an almost meditative stillness between strikes. These ambush predators inhabit gardens, meadows, and shrublands worldwide, adapting to diverse climates through remarkable behavioral flexibility and hunting strategies. Gardeners, entomologists, and nature photographers encounter them during outdoor activities, though their excellent camouflage and statue-like patience make detection difficult until movement occurs. Their powerful forelegs can deliver surprisingly painful defensive grips to human fingers, while their mandibles are capable of inflicting minor but memorable bites when handled carelessly. They hunt insects, spiders, and occasionally small vertebrates, using perfect stillness, followed by explosive strikes, faster than human eyes can follow. Their cannibalistic mating behavior has made them symbols of deadly romance, though this occurs less frequently in nature than popular culture suggests. Their swiveling head can rotate 180 degrees, while their compound eyes track multiple moving objects simultaneously. Ancient Greek cultures named them for their prayer-like posture, seeing them as symbols of patience and divine contemplation. How would you wait if perfect stillness was the price of perfect timing? You're walking now through summer meadows where something buzzes overhead like a tiny fighter pilot, its compound eyes tracking aerial prey with precision that would impress military strategists. The robber fly, Acylidae family, represents one of nature's most efficient aerial predators, capable of intercepting flying insects with success rates exceeding 95%. These hairy hunting machines inhabit diverse environments worldwide, from deserts to forests, adapting their hunting strategies to local prey and environmental conditions. Hikers, picnickers, and outdoor enthusiasts occasionally receive defensive bites when accidentally grabbing or swatting these aggressive hunters during peak activity periods. Their needle-like proboscis can penetrate human skin and inject enzymes that cause localized pain and swelling, though their focus on insect prey makes human encounters typically brief. They hunt by perching on elevated positions and launching high-speed interception flights, catching everything from mosquitoes to dragonflies in midair using remarkable aerial agility. Their hunting strategy involves injecting prey with paralyzing saliva before consuming body fluids, making them effective biological pest controllers in agricultural and garden settings. Their excellent vision and flight capabilities allow them to outmaneuver most flying insects, while their aggressive territorial behavior clears areas of competing predators. What would you master if your success required split-second decisions and perfect three-dimensional calculations? Hey friends, you're beachcombing now along Indo-Pacific shores where something beautiful crawls through shallow water like a living pharmaceutical laboratory, its elegant shell concealing injection systems more sophisticated than modern medicine. The textile cone shell, Conus textile, launches hollow harpoons containing over 100 different toxin compounds, creating custom venom cocktails tailored to specific prey types. These predatory mollusks inhabit coral reefs and sandy areas throughout tropical Indo-Pacific waters, using their remarkable chemosensory abilities to track prey through complex underwater environments. Shell collectors, marine enthusiasts, and tropical beach walkers occasionally handle live specimens, attracted by their intricate geometric patterns and smooth texture. Their envenomation causes rapid paralysis, respiratory failure, and potential death within hours, with no antivenom available for most coneshell species. They hunt marine worms, fish, and other mollusks by extending their proboscis like a living hypodermic needle and injecting precisely calibrated toxin doses. Their venom research has contributed to development of powerful pain medications, making these deadly hunters valuable allies in human medical advancement. Pacific Island cultures recognized their dual nature as both beautiful treasures and dangerous spirits, requiring careful handling protocols passed through generations. What healing would you offer if your greatest weapon could also become humanity's most powerful medicine? Dear listeners, you're diving now over sandy bottoms where something alien lurks in burrows like a living bear trap, its razor-sharp jaws capable of slicing fish in half with hydraulic force. The bobbit worm, Unus aphroditois, can grow up to 10 feet long while remaining completely hidden beneath sand, erupting with explosive speed to catch passing prey. These ambush predators inhabit tropical and subtropical marine environments worldwide, constructing elaborate tunnel systems in sandy and muddy substrates near coral reefs. Divers, marine aquarium enthusiasts, and researchers encounter them accidentally when they emerge from substrate or when handling live rock containing their tunnels. Their powerful jaws can deliver cuts requiring medical attention, while their defensive bristles cause painful irritation and potential allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. They hunt fish, crustaceans, and other marine creatures using lightning-fast ambush attacks, retracting into their tunnels immediately after capturing prey. Their sensory capabilities include detecting water vibrations and chemical trails, allowing them to time attacks perfectly despite remaining completely concealed. Their iridescent bristles create rainbow patterns along their segmented bodies, while their permanent burrow systems can persist for years in suitable substrate. What patience would you cultivate if your entire life depended on perfect timing from perfect concealment? You're standing now in African papyrus swamps, where something ancient watches with eyes older than time, its massive bill designed for delivering death with machine gun precision. The shoebill stork, Balaniceps rex, stands 5 feet tall with a 7-inch bill capable of decapitating prey and crushing bones through tremendous bite force. These living dinosaurs inhabit swamplands across East Africa, requiring specific wetland conditions and abundant lungfish populations for successful hunting and breeding. Wildlife photographers, researchers, and eco-tourists observe them from respectful distances, as their intimidating size and aggressive defensive behavior discourage close approaches. Their powerful bill can deliver serious injuries to perceived threats, while their imposing height and prehistoric appearance create psychological intimidation effects on most intruders. They hunt primarily lungfish and baby crocodiles using statue-like patience, followed by explosive striking motions, their bills designed for penetrating tough scales and armor. Their hunting strategy involves remaining motionless for hours until suitable prey ventures within striking distance, then delivering lightning-fast attacks with surgical precision. Their distinctive machine gun-like bill clattering serves as communication between mates and territorial warnings to competitors. African cultures honor them as ancient spirits, remnants of primordial times when giant birds ruled swampland kingdoms. What would you witness if you could wait with the patience of geological time for the perfect moment? You're swimming now in Amazon tributaries where something nearly invisible follows chemical trails with single-minded determination, seeking the warmth that might lead to an encounter no swimmer ever forgets. The candiru, Vandellia serosa, measures only 2 inches long, but possesses backward-pointing spines and the ability to detect urea in water from considerable distances. These parasitic catfish inhabit freshwater systems throughout the Amazon basin, normally living as gill parasites of larger fish while occasionally mistaking human swimmers for suitable hosts. River travelers, indigenous communities, and researchers encounter them in remote Amazonian waters, particularly in areas with limited water visibility and abundant fish populations. Their backward-pointing spines make removal extremely difficult once lodged in body orifices, requiring surgical intervention in the rare cases when human encounters occur. They feed on blood and tissue fluids from gill chambers of larger fish, using their specialized oral disc and spines to maintain attachment during feeding. Their detection methods include following ammonia trails through water and responding to water temperature differences that indicate potential hosts. Amazon folklore greatly exaggerates their danger to humans, though indigenous peoples developed traditional protective methods for safe river bathing. What would you seek if your entire existence depended on finding the exact chemical signature of life? Hey friends, you're witnessing now East African savannas, where something flows like liquid destruction across the landscape, millions of individual soldiers working as a single unstoppable force. The driver ant, Doralus wilverthi, forms colonies containing up to 22 million individuals that can strip entire areas of invertebrate life during their nomadic raids. These army ants inhabit tropical African forests and savannas, conducting massive hunting expeditions that can span several acres while consuming everything edible in their path. Rural communities, researchers, and travelers encounter them during their periodic migrations, often requiring temporary evacuation of homes and campsites until the swarm passes. Their powerful mandibles can deliver painful bites that continue even after decapitation, while their coordinated group attacks can overwhelm much larger prey through sheer numbers. They hunt everything from insects to small vertebrates, using overwhelming numerical superiority and coordinated attack strategies, forming living bridges and rafts to overcome obstacles. Their nomadic lifestyle involves constant movement between temporary nesting sites, with entire colonies relocating every few weeks in search of new hunting grounds. Their temporary nest structures can contain millions of individuals linked together in complex three-dimensional networks spanning several cubic yards. African cultures learned to predict and prepare for their arrivals, viewing them as natural cleaning services that cleared areas of pests and unwanted insects. What would you accomplish if you could coordinate perfectly with millions of others toward a single purpose? Dear listeners, you're walking now through Australian deserts, where something that looks exactly like dried vegetation moves with mechanical precision, its entire body designed as both camouflage and water collection system. The thorny devil, Moloch horridus, covers itself with thorn-like projections that channel morning dew directly to its mouth while creating perfect mimicry of desert debris. These remarkable lizards inhabit arid regions of central and western Australia, surviving in environments where water sources remain unavailable for months at a time. Desert researchers, hikers, and wildlife enthusiasts occasionally spot them during cooler periods, though their incredible camouflage makes detection nearly impossible until movement occurs. Their defensive capabilities include intimidating threat displays involving inflating their bodies and presenting false heads to confuse predators seeking vulnerable areas. They feed exclusively on small black ants, consuming thousands daily using their sticky tongues and methodical hunting strategies adapted to sparse desert resources. Their water collection system involves hygroscopic grooves between their scales that transport moisture from any part of their body directly to their mouth through capillary action. Their slow, deliberate movements minimize energy expenditure, while their heat-reflective coloration helps regulate body temperature in extreme desert conditions. Aboriginal Australian cultures honored them as symbols of adaptation and resourcefulness, creatures demonstrating survival through ingenious rather than aggressive strategies. What would you become if you had to collect life itself from the air while disguised as something lifeless? You're fishing now in African rivers where something smooth and whiskered generates up to 450 volts of electricity, capable of stunning crocodiles and delivering potentially dangerous shocks to unsuspecting anglers. The electric catfish, Melapterurus electricus, possesses specialized electric organs covering 25% of its body mass, making it one of the most powerfully electric freshwater fish in the world. These nocturnal predators inhabit river systems throughout tropical Africa, preferring muddy bottoms and slow-moving waters where their electrical abilities prove most effective. Fishermen, researchers, and riverside communities encounter them during fishing activities, particularly when using nets or handling catches in areas where electric catfish populations remain high. Their electrical discharge can cause muscle contractions, cardiac irregularities, and temporary paralysis in humans, though fatalities remain rare due to their freshwater habitat reducing shock severity. They hunt fish, frogs, and invertebrates by stunning prey with controlled electrical pulses before swallowing immobilized victims whole using their cavernous mouths. Their electrical generation serves both offensive and defensive purposes, allowing them to navigate murky waters and communicate with other electric catfish through bioelectrical signals. Ancient Egyptian cultures recognized their electrical properties, incorporating them into early studies of natural phenomena and viewing them as manifestations of divine power over natural forces. What conversations would you have if you could speak in the ancient language of electrical impulses through water? You're camping now in tropical regions where something slender moves like a living syringe through darkness, its needle-like proboscis capable of delivering both paralysis and disease with surgical precision. The assassin bug, Triatoma infestans, injects powerful enzymes that liquefy tissue while simultaneously transmitting Chagas disease through infected saliva and feces. These nocturnal hunters inhabit cracks in walls, thatched roofs, and bedding throughout Central and South America, emerging at night to feed on sleeping humans and animals. Rural residents, travelers, and field workers encounter them in traditional adobe housing and outdoor accommodations where their presence often goes unnoticed during feeding. Their bite delivers anesthetic compounds that prevent detection while feeding, though their disease transmission affects approximately 6 to 7 million people worldwide, according to WHO estimates. They hunt by detecting carbon dioxide and body heat from sleeping hosts, using stealth and patience to approach undetected before inserting their feeding apparatus. Their feeding process can last 20 to 30 minutes, while they inject anticoagulants and consume blood meals several times their body weight. Local communities call them kissing bugs for their tendency to bite faces and lips of sleeping victims. What dreams would you have if something so small could change the course of your entire life with a single kiss? Dear listeners, you're diving now in Indo-Pacific coral reefs, where something rainbow-colored strikes with the force of a bullet, its club-like appendages creating cavitation bubbles that reach temperatures of the sun. The peacock mantis shrimp, Odontodactylus salaris, delivers punches with acceleration equal to a .22 caliber bullet while possessing the most complex color vision in the animal kingdom. These marine pugilists inhabit shallow tropical reefs from East Africa to Hawaii, constructing elaborate burrows in coral rubble and rocky crevices that they defend with violent determination. Marine aquarium enthusiasts, divers, and researchers encounter them in reef environments. Though their powerful strikes can shatter aquarium glass and break human bones with ease, their clubs can generate forces over 1,500 newtons in strikes, lasting just 2.7 milliseconds, creating shock waves that kill prey even when punches miss their targets. They hunt crabs, snails, and fish using either spearing or smashing techniques, adapting their hunting style to prey type and shell hardness. Their 16 types of color receptors allow them to see polarized light and detect subtle camouflage patterns invisible to most other creatures. Pacific Island cultures admired them as masters of both beauty and warfare, creatures combining rainbow brilliance with devastating martial prowess. How would you see the world if you could perceive colors that don't even have names in human language? You're fishing now in European rivers, where something massive lurks in deep pools like a living submarine, its whiskers detecting vibrations from struggling prey across vast underwater territories. The whale's catfish, Silurus glanus, grows up to 16 feet long and weighs over 400 pounds, making it Europe's largest freshwater predator with an appetite that includes everything from fish to waterfowl. These ancient giants inhabit river systems throughout Central and Eastern Europe, preferring deep holes and underwater structures where their enormous size provides ambush advantages. Anglers, swimmers, and riverside residents encounter them in traditional fishing areas, though their preference for deep water keeps most interactions limited to fishing activities. Their powerful suction feeding can engulf prey much larger than expected, while their sheer size makes accidental contact potentially dangerous for swimmers in confined spaces. They consume fish, frogs, birds, and small mammals using suction feeding and their cavernous mouths that can create powerful vacuum forces. Their nocturnal hunting behavior involves patrolling territories and using their sensitive barbels to detect chemical trails and water vibrations from potential prey. European folklore portrays them as river spirits and guardians of deep waters, ancient beings deserving both respect and caution from those who venture into their liquid domains. What secrets would you guard if you were the ancient keeper of river depths that humans rarely explore? Hey friends, you're walking now along tropical beaches where something geometrically perfect conceals a pharmaceutical arsenal more sophisticated than modern laboratories. Its beautiful shell-hiding injection systems that could revolutionize medicine. The geographic cone snail, Conus geographus, launches hollow harpoons containing over 100 different peptide toxins, each designed for specific physiological targets with surgical precision. These mobile pharmacies inhabit sandy areas and coral reefs throughout the Indo-Pacific, using their remarkable chemical weapons to hunt fish much larger and faster than themselves. Shell collectors, beachcombers, and marine enthusiasts occasionally handle live specimens while attracted to their intricate patterns and smooth surfaces. Their venom cocktail causes immediate paralysis and respiratory failure, with human fatalities documented despite their small size and seemingly harmless appearance. They hunt by detecting chemical trails in water and launching surprise attacks with harpoon-like radular teeth that inject custom-tailored toxin combinations. Their peptides have contributed to development of powerful pain medications 1,000 times more effective than morphine, while researchers continue studying their potential applications. Maritime cultures across the Pacific learn to recognize dangerous cone species while appreciating their role in traditional medicine and spiritual practices. What healing would emerge if we could learn to speak the chemical language that nature has perfected over millions of years? Dear listeners, you're watching now from lakeside shores, where something magnificent circles overhead with talons designed like living fishhooks, its reversible outer toes and specialized grip making it perhaps the most successful fishing bird on Earth. The osprey, Pandion haliatus, possesses unique adaptations including nostril valves for diving and spiny toe pads that prevent slippery fish from escaping their grasp. These cosmopolitan raptors inhabit waterways on every continent except Antarctica, demonstrating remarkable fishing success rates while maintaining territories they defend aggressively during breeding season. Fishermen, boaters, and waterfront residents observe them during hunting activities, though their large size and powerful talons make nest sites and fishing perches places requiring respectful distance. Their diving attacks can generate significant impact forces when striking water at high speeds, while their sharp talons can inflict serious injuries when defending nests or handling prey. They consume fish almost exclusively, using spectacular diving techniques and specialized adaptations that allow them to plunge completely underwater before emerging with prey secured in their grip. Their fishing success rates exceed 70%, making them one of nature's most efficient aquatic hunters, while their global distribution demonstrates remarkable adaptability. Coastal cultures worldwide honored them as symbols of focus and precision, master fishers whose skills inspired human fishing techniques and spiritual teachings about patience. What would you accomplish if you could focus your entire existence on perfecting a single skill until it became art? You're exploring now Central African forests, where something extraordinary breaks its own bones to create claws, turning itself into a living weapon when threatened by predators or territorial rivals. The hairy frog, Trichobatrachus robustus, deliberately fractures its finger bones and forces them through its skin to create makeshift claws during defensive encounters. These remarkable amphibians inhabit highland forests of Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea, requiring fast-flowing streams for breeding while spending most of their lives in terrestrial forest environments. Researchers, local hunters, and forest workers occasionally encounter them during stream surveys, though their aggressive defensive behavior and sharp improvised claws make handling extremely hazardous. Their bone-breaking defensive mechanism can cause significant lacerations to handlers, while their powerful legs deliver kicks enhanced by their self-generated claws during territorial disputes. They hunt insects, spiders, and small invertebrates using typical frog-feeding behaviors, though males develop hair-like skin projections during breeding season that increase oxygen absorption. Their breeding behavior involves males guarding eggs underwater for weeks, using their enhanced oxygen-absorbing hair to remain submerged for extended periods. African folklore recognizes them as symbols of sacrifice and transformation, creatures willing to harm themselves to protect what matters most. What would you break within yourself if it meant you could protect everything you held dear? You're hiking now through Japanese forests where something armored flies like a living fighter jet, its quarter-inch stinger delivering venom that dissolves tissue while its powerful jaws can decapitate honeybees in single bites. The Japanese giant hornet, Vespa mandarinia, measures 2 inches long with a wingspan reaching 3 inches. making it the world's largest hornet species and one of the most formidable insects on Earth. These aerial predators inhabit forests throughout East Asia, requiring tree hollows for nesting while ranging across territories spanning several miles in search of prey. Beekeepers, hikers, and forest workers encounter them during late summer hunting seasons, when colonies reach peak aggression levels and worker numbers. Their venom contains 8 different toxins, including melittin and phospholipase, causing tissue destruction, kidney damage, and potential anaphylactic shock in sensitive individuals. They hunt honeybees, other insects, and tree sap using coordinated pack attacks and powerful mandibles that can bite through protective equipment. Their attack strategy involves pheromone marking of target hives, followed by systematic destruction of defender bees using both venom and decapitation techniques. Japanese culture both fears and respects them as symbols of warrior spirit and unstoppable determination, creatures embodying the power of focused aggression. What territories would you claim if you possessed overwhelming force but needed wisdom to know when to use it? Hey friends, you're snorkeling now over coral reefs where something perfectly mimics algae-covered rock while armed with the most potent fish venom on Earth, its dorsal spines ready to deliver agony that defies description. The stonefish, Synansea horrida, achieves such perfect camouflage that marine biologists can stand on them without recognition, yet possesses 13 venomous spines capable of causing excruciating pain and potential cardiac arrest. These masters of disguise inhabit shallow Indo-Pacific waters from Australia to the Red Sea, positioning themselves among coral debris where their warty skin and algae growth create perfect deception. Swimmers, snorkelers, and fishermen accidentally step on them in reef areas, resulting in 5-10 documented stings annually in Australia, with several requiring emergency medical intervention. Their venom causes immediate intense pain described as worse than childbirth, accompanied by tissue death, paralysis, and cardiovascular complications lasting weeks. They hunt small fish and crustaceans using patient ambush tactics, remaining motionless until prey ventures within striking distance of their lightning-fast jaws. Their remarkable camouflage includes allowing algae and small organisms to grow on their skin, enhancing their rock-like appearance over time. Pacific Island cultures respected them as guardian spirits, testing whether humans approached coral reefs with proper awareness and humility. What would perfect patience teach you about the difference between hiding from the world and becoming one with it? Dear listeners, you're walking now along Pacific Northwest beaches, where something ancient lives buried in sand like a time capsule with a siphon, its century-plus lifespan making it one of the longest-lived animals on Earth. The geoduck clam, Panopia generosa, can live over 165 years while growing up to 8 pounds, its massive siphon extending 3 feet from its shell to filter countless gallons of seawater. These marine elders inhabit sandy and muddy substrates from Alaska to California, burying themselves up to 3 feet deep in protective sediment layers that become their permanent homes. Commercial harvesters, recreational diggers, and beachcombers encounter them during extreme low tides, though their powerful siphon contractions can surprise inexperienced diggers. Their defensive spray capability involves forcefully ejecting water and sand that can knock people off balance or deliver startling jets to faces and eyes. They filter feed continuously on phytoplankton and organic particles, processing massive volumes of seawater throughout lifespans that can span multiple human generations. Their incredible longevity makes them living environmental records, carrying information about ocean changes in their shell growth rings like underwater tree rings. Pacific Northwest indigenous cultures honored them as symbols of patience and persistence, ancient spirits teaching that true wisdom comes from decades of quiet observation. What stories would you carry if you witnessed more than a century of tides from your sandy window beneath the waves? You're standing now in African savanna where something compact and fearless challenges everything larger than itself, its reputation for unstoppable determination earning it legendary status among both predators and humans. The honey badger, Mellivora capensis, weighs only 35 pounds, yet routinely drives lions, leopards, and hyenas away from kills through sheer aggressive persistence and remarkable resilience to injury. These tenacious mustelids inhabit diverse environments from African grasslands to Asian forests, adapting to almost any habitat where sufficient prey and den sites exist for their nomadic lifestyle. Wildlife researchers, beekeepers, and rural communities encounter them during raids on beehives, garbage dumps, and livestock areas, though their fearless nature makes all interactions potentially unpredictable. Their thick skin, powerful claws, and aggressive temperament make them capable of inflicting serious injuries on much larger opponents, while their legendary toughness allows recovery from venomous snake bites. They consume everything from honey and larvae to small antelopes and venomous snakes, using intelligence and determination to access food sources others cannot reach. Their remarkable immunity to various venoms and toxins allows them to hunt dangerous prey, while their tool use and problem-solving abilities demonstrate surprising intelligence. African cultures celebrate them as ultimate symbols of courage and persistence, teaching that size means nothing when matched against unwavering determination and fearless spirit. Hey friends, thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through 100 of nature's most remarkable and dangerous creatures. If these peaceful animal stories have helped you relax and drift towards sleep, please subscribe for more soothing content. And remember, what would you become if you carried the honey badger's fearless heart while maintaining the wisdom to choose your battles carefully?